Good evening and welcome to Champions Poker Live. It is the final table of our $100,000 guaranteed PLO event, number 11, at the Fall Poker Open here at Champions Club in Houston, Texas. This is Dan Fouts coming to you live with Eddie Batt. How are you doing today, Eddie?
Doing fine, Dan. Getting ready for this final table for this 100K PLO Championship here at Champions Club, Texas.
I'm super excited. This is our first Pot Limit Omaha event that we are streaming, and we have a great lineup here. There's a look at the chip stacks and the players at the table. We've got a World Series of Poker bracelet winner here today. We've got players that do all kinds of great PLO stuff going on here. Let's look at the prize pool. Over 120,000 in the total prize pool. First place, $28,280. We will be scheduled to do a cash game tomorrow at 7 p.m. You can see our schedule of events coming up for the live streams. And then the next one will be Sunday, possibly. Let's take a look at the players here. In the one seat, we've got Sergio, Houston, Texas. Ace, ace, jack, jacks, double suited is his favorite hand. He's got 3 WSOP final tables in the last 5 years. And next to him is Will Leffingwell. He won a bracelet in PLO this year at the series. Seat 3, we got Kahan from Richmond. He's a trader. And next to him, we've got Stats from Tomball. He's an online 6-max bracelet winner. In the 5 seat, JW from San Diego, California. He does timeshare work. He tells us that he's a bum. In the 6 seat, we've got Sam from Corpus Christi. He says he's won a few tournaments in his day. And in 7, that's Skydive. He's a skydiver, poker dealer, and raconteur from Tampa, Florida. In the 8 seat, BJ from Dallas, Texas. And rounding out the lineup is Anti from Helsinki in the 9 seat. And he's also won a couple of tournaments, but he says it was a long time ago. So here we go for hand 1 of the PLO final table. All these players are guaranteed $2,840, but first place today is $28,280. Everybody's gunning for that top spot. Kind of an interesting format, the way we do it here, kind of an innovative for PLO tournaments. We've got a big blind ante that is the difference between the big blind and the small blind. So the opening bet is always 4 times whatever the big blind is. Blinds right now are 15,000, 25,000 with a 10,000 ante. And Sam is going to open it up here to 60,000. He's got ace-king suited with jack deuce. A couple of Broadway cards there. Ace, a suited ace is always good to have. Folds around to Sergio in the cutoff. And looking at 3 diamonds in his hand, decides to wait for a better spot and folds it. Had 238 players in this field, down to the final 9. Seat 8 BJ came into this final table with the most chips. He's got 1.97 million.
And BJ's a friend from mine up in Dallas. He's played some of our streams up there up in Dallas. Didn't know he was coming down. It was a nice pleasure to see him on the final table. Very, very active player, very aggressive player. He's playing a lot of our streams up there. So nice to see him on the final table here.
Yeah, with a total of 9.5 million in play, he's got a big percentage there of the chips. And then our short stack coming in was Sam in the 6th seat. But we also have Sergio, Kahan, and Stats very close in chip stack with him. The short stack is 610. Those other 3 players all have about 660,000. So a lot of really close stacks. Rockets Will is going to open this one up to 75,000 with ace-jack, 10-10, ace-jack of hearts. Really strong hand, and he's got good position here in the cutoff. He's going to fold around to the big blind And JW looking down at 7-7 deuce king is going to throw it away.
Oh, I turned over 2.
Will's just going to show the ace there.
It wasn't another ace.
Yeah, one thing you don't know about, I haven't told you that Isaac, Will, a couple other guys from the Stallions, we're going to be putting together some pretty fun, neat PLO streams post the series. So look for that. We're going to be shooting actually a promo for that Friday or Saturday. Look for that promo. If we can fit it in, hopefully maybe get it in the final table. Give some of these Houston players and Texas players a little sneak peek of some of the PLO action that we're going to be putting on here at Champions Club.
That is awesome. Will did put on his bio sheet a little hint to us, to me anyway, that he said he's the PLO champion, but he said he's about to host PLO games at the best poker room in Texas. I think he's talking about here at Champions Club.
I would hope so.
Nice looking rundown hand here for Anti. 3 diamonds in the hand is not exactly what you want to see, but that's a really strong hand. So he's going to open it up to 60,000 with 8-10 Jack Queen.
About 2.5x the big blind, or the big blind. Again, structure here, small blind, big blind. The big blind ante is the lesser of the small blind, or the difference between the big blind and the small blind. So with this case, the big blind ante is 10K.
Stats is going to make the call with Jack Queen Trey on the button here, and also JW from the small blind calling with Ace King Jack 9 suited. Some pretty strong hands here. Lots of Broadway cards out there. And flop comes with 2 10s. Anti's got the 10.
Stats here with a royal flush.
Open-ended royal flush draw, or straight flush draw rather.
And everybody here with a little piece of this flop.
Checking around. Second king comes off now, and JW has the king.
Does bring in a secondary flush draw, but however, it's a double paired board.
And actually, when you're playing Omaha, double paired board is safer for you. It's a lot less likely that a player's going to have a full house there. So with the 3 kings and the flush draw and the straight draws, JW is going to fire out 110 here. About half the pot. Really good turn for his hand.
And again, a double paired board being out of position with 2 players left to act. Very strong lead on the turn from JW here. Is going to get the call from Auntie. Stat's going to make the fold. Look at those camera angles. I love it.
And the clubs get there. Jack 9 of clubs for JW. He's also got the blocker to the full house, the big one.
435.
Asking how much is in the pot, not betting the pot.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out a size to bet for value here.
He bets 175. With 3 10s, Anti could make the call here, but with the clubs getting there and the bigger full house possible, I have a feeling he's going to make a fold here. That's a significant part of his stack. You don't want to give your chips to somebody else. And he does fold.
Again, there's not as much ICM pressure 7th through 9th. But once you start getting to like 6th place and above, that's when the ICM really kicks into play.
Yeah, with this structure too, it's the really big jump is between 4th and 3rd.
Right. So 9th place is going to pay $2,840 with 8th paying $3,520. 7th, $4,130. He's going to escalate the top 3 spots, $28,380 for first. Second, $19,930, and for third, $12,240. Like Dan said, the ICM implications for this final table really factor into decision making once you get into the top 4. So I think these guys are going to play a little snug early on, try to make some ladders, and maybe potentially make some moves later on in the stream.
Beautiful looking hand here for Rockets Will. Ace, King, Queen, 10. You wish you had some suits, but all Broadway cards folding around to you in that position. It's a good opening spot. 65,000 is the bet now. Folds around to the blinds here. And Sam in the small blind, that's not a terrible hand, but you're going to be out of position. And you might get stuck with a king high flush draw there. You may end up just you know, forced to make bad calls and lose part of your stack. So making a good fold there, and Will's going to take down another pot.
And the same thing with like you talk about comparing tournaments to cash, right? You got to definitely play a lot more snug on the tournaments. You played the cash here in Houston. A lot of flops. You're going to see a lot of multi-way flops, 5-6 handed.
It's a totally different game when it comes to tournament.
All these players definitely showing an acumen to play the tournament side of PLO. So.
And Will came into the final table here second in chips, so he has the chips to be able to put some pressure on those shorter stacks with less premium hands as well. And here's an example, opening up here with ace-jack, 7-7, ace-7 of hearts. So he does have a suited ace, but it's not like a super... Yeah, and that's a pretty good-sized bet from Will. You're not going to see a whole lot of pot-sized bets, unlike when you're at a cash game. It's just pot, 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 pot. But these guys know what they're doing as far as the tournament structure. They're not going to put a ton of their chips at risk unless they really have it. 10 of spades comes off, giving 2 pair to BJ. It gives gut shot to Broadway to Will, going along with his.
Yeah, I like the check back here. Allows Will to realize equity.
Oh, wow. And BJ fills up. Tray's full of 10s, and that's a really hidden full house here.
Right.
He's probably going to bet for value.
See what size he's going to go with here.
Yeah, we got 315 in the pot. Looks like he's going to go.
See what size he's going to go with here.
Yeah, we got 315 in the pot. Looks like he's going to go.
Pot?
Yeah, about a little more than half pot, 175,000.
Yeah, and Will not much everything with the busted front door flush draw, especially on the paired board. Don't see him making the call here. Does in fact lay the hand down. Now, with that being said, this is definitely a better board for BJ defending the big blind than it is for Will opening in +2. So, Will takes a stab at it on the flop. Checks back turn, try to realize equity to potentially hit his nut flush draw.
Played.
Yeah, there should have been like 25K starting stack, maybe.
Yeah.
Are they complaining about having too many chips? I think that's what happened.
I will say this. I've seen the structures for all the tournaments, and they're phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the final table of the main event might go 2 days. Folds all the way around to the blinds here, and BJ waking up with queens in the big blind, double suited.
Yeah, look for him to apply a little bit of pressure in a blind versus blind scenario.
Raises it up to 90,000. Not quite full pot.
Oh, wow.
But triple the big blind, and wow, yeah, anti-waking up with aces here, single suited. Definitely a raised backhand.
I think it's going to be a raised backhand. I definitely see BJ making the call as well.
285.
Slightly 3x BJ's open in a blind versus blind scenario.
I don't think you're going to see BJ go crazy here. He's definitely going to call, but I don't think he's going to jack it back up. This is a very strong hand, but it's beat by so many hands in Omaha. And he is just going to call.
We're going to have $600,000, nearly $600,000 going into this flop.
Yeah, that's the size of a lot of these players' stack right now, so it's a big pot. And we got a king-high board here. BJ flopping top pair. But not a super coordinated board. He actually has top and bottom pair, so he may make the call here. If he puts his, if he is putting anti on aces, he may actually pot it back. Yep. Yeah, and a call here.
You have 2 better.
And so anti does have the backdoor flush draw. He also has an 8. So yeah, he does have some outs here, but what a great flop for BJ's hand, top and bottom.
And with BJ having, and BJ
blocking the clubs.
Yep, blocking clubs as well.
And you can see he's got 75% equity, which is, I mean, in Omaha, that's really rare that you're more than a 60-40 dog.
And the thing is, with him, with both of them having a 7-8 respectively. Well,
there you go. It's
there you
all
go.
over now.
And he's going to need an ace and an ace only on the river to fill up with a higher full house.
Okay, man.
GG.
Yeah.
Good luck, guys.
And BJ here taking down
That was fast.
this
the rich
pot.
get richer. That's he had almost 2 million chips before, and now he's going to be closer to 2.5 million with only 9.5 million in play.
Right. That's a significant portion of the chips, total chips in play. So nice little takedown there by BJ. There's definitely some counterfeit outs for better two pairs there, but each player having an 8 and a 7 respectively, blocking some two pair outs for the turn in the river. But obviously with him filling up on the turn, Auntie drawing to an ace and an ace only on the river and bricks the river. Auntie in 9th place, 2,840 for his efforts. Next pay jump for 8th, $3,520.
I guess he believed it.
Now, I would look to see BJ now having a significant portion of the chips in play to put some pressure on these smaller stacks, the ones that are in like the 600,000 range.
100%, yeah.
You mean if you just bet the river? Let's rephrase that. He was scared to bet quads on the river. He had top about aces full, quad king. A flop and nut straight.
Aces full and what?
Board's ace, king, king, jack, 2. 3 spades, and he has kings and he has aces.
You horse down, Mason?
Checks in the small blind, checks in the big blind, I check on the button.
Oh, those Dallas boys sticking
I
together?
raised, they both flatted me pre-flop. They thought I was going to rep aces on the river.
Dallas area crew.
Hearing the players talk about the Dallas crew coming down here to play the tournaments, but also a big PLO game in the back there.
Yeah, we've got is it a 5100 or 2550?
I think it's disguised as 2550, but I think it's 2550 100, and then once it gets a little short-handed, like later in the evening or early morning, it gets a 5100.
Make a deal
Yeah.
on that 3-1.
It's a big game. I got to deal with it a couple of weeks ago, and super nice and super great players. It was a fun game to deal. But that's a big game. Just saw Milkman coming in and out of the shot there, stopping to say hi to somebody. He's one of the players in that game and one of the favorites on our stream.
Yeah, him and Trick Time both from Dallas down there for that big PLO game. A lot of PLO action, big games going on here.
Stats just calling here with a pretty premium hand here. Ace, king, queen, jack with 3 spades in his hand. Probably would have raised if it was only 2 spades in his hand. Sam getting in there with a suited ace, 4, 5, 6. Just calling as well. And that's going to let some other players get in. Skydive calls, some a king high rundown, and Rocket's Wheel getting in there as well. Lots of Broadway cards out there.
I was going to say, I like the 4-5 hand.
Yeah, yeah. Based on 4, 5, 6, really good flop here. 6 high straight draw.
Skydive
with the only with king high clubs and Rocket's Wheel with queen high clubs. So it's Skydive top pair also. He's going to bet 85,000.
I wouldn't be surprised if Will calls there and see folds from Stats and Sam. Sam is open-ended but doesn't have enough backdoor equity with any flush draws or anything like that. So especially with him being a short stack, yeah, does opt to fold his hand. It's going to go heads up to the turn.
Jack of diamonds comes off, giving both players some Broadway outs. And top 2 pair now for Skydive.
About 45% pot. Look for Will to, at minimum, make the call here.
And 4-6 gets there.
Will
That
rivering
player-
the wheel
Yeah,
here.
the 4-6 hand got out of the way on the flop there with the 2 clubs on board. And Will has made a wheel.
Now, it's a tough spot for Skydive. He does have top 2 pair. There's not a ton of sets out there. I wouldn't be surprised if he make this call here.
Not low.
2 pair. 4.
Damn it.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate rear card for Skydive there. There's not too many combos of hands that's going to beat him there. Will definitely could have some sets there, especially defending the big blind, some low pocket pairs, but then obviously rivering the wheel there with Skydive with top 2 pair. No flush draws hit.
High-low play.
And again, the rich get richer. Will's starting this final table with 1.3 million in chips, taking down a nice pot there.
Goose a diamond, my lucky
300K
card.
bet
I'm
on the
looking for
river
goose
getting
diamond.
called.
Yeah, both Will and BJ having a significant portion, probably nearly 50% of the chips in play.
Straight draw.
Yeah, very close now.
But you and I both know the way PLO can work sometimes.
Deuce or
Sure.
a king?
But
Give me a bunch.
they also might be the 2 strongest players at the table.
Yeah.
So with them having the chips, it's really going to put the pressure on these guys. I played a little bit of PLO with Will in a smaller game, just a 1-3 cash game, but it is intimidating because you just know he's got the knowledge, you know. Oh, here we go. Stats waking up with aces here, suited to the spades, just limping in. I mean, it's not. This is what we call crappy aces in Omaha. He does have a single suit though, so I would have liked to see an raise there.
Yeah, and the 9 and 4 are not really good cards that connect well post flop. You know, obviously, if you're going to want double suited aces like of the Broadway variety, or even ace queen 3, where you can make wheels, can make Broadways, but the 9 and the 4, doesn't give him a ton of strength with the specific hand, especially from the undergun position, but does limp from under the gun. Going to go 4 ways to this flop in hand number 9.
Yeah, and that's exactly why you want to open a little bit with a hand like that, because you don't want to play against 4 players.
Right.
And now with this board texture, he's going to have to just check it down, even with the naked ace.
Let's see if he does use that naked ace as a bluff. Now, again, with it being multi-way, it's tougher to bluff into players multi-way. He is in position to rock his Will and Con, out of position to surge you on the button. And he is, it looks like he's opting to use that.
Yeah, he flopped the pair, and he's got the fake flush draw, and he's lucky nobody has diamonds here, so I think this bet's going to work for him, but it's not necessarily a good play against 4 other players.
Yeah.
Flop come out and you can't think of one card that was in your hand. I couldn't remember one card that was in my hand. I was like, shit. Do I look back or do I just
Every hand
check?
I'm doing that.
I was like, I'll just check and then
It
look.
looks like we got a dealer change here. Matt going out. Matt, one of our best dealers here at Champions Club, and I know that the other 2
Now I
dealers in the
remember why
rotation
I
are
don't
also
think about
excellent.
shitty-ass
This
hands.
is Rich.
Yeah, he dealt the
Coming
main
in.
event final table this past summer, so these guys are very talented. We run a 2-man rotation for our final tables and our cash streams, but for this specific PLO final table, we are on a 3-man rotation.
And that's because the other table that they're going into is the 5100 PLO game in the back. So
Right.
keeping all these big PLO games together. And there's a look at your stacks. You can see the shortest stack, 19 big blinds. So again, plenty of poker to be played. The structures in these tournaments are excellent. It's not a situation where you get to the final table and it's all interfold.
Right. And for those of you, there 750K main event, 3 flights remaining. Starts at 11 a.m. Starting stack 60K.
$1,300 buy-in for that, but there's also satellites at 5 and 7 p.m. Both tonight and tomorrow and Friday. So plenty of opportunities to win your seat into that main event, and $750,000 guaranteed.
J-Dub here under the gun, going to make it 2.5x, 75K. Some Broadway cards double suited to the King of Diamonds, or single suited to the King of Diamonds, pocket jacks.
Stats making the call from the big blind here. Ace, King, Jack 5 suited to the King. And we'll go heads up. Just some decent hands here.
And you and I both know this. With PLO, with there being so many cards, equities between players run a lot closer than relative to Hold'em. So,
Yeah, very very rare for anybody to be more than a 60-40
Right.
favorite in PLO. So you'll see a lot more calling. And stats here, it's basically a coin flip. He's got the king high flush draw. pretty unlikely that somebody that opened under the gun is going to have a 7 in their
right.
hand.
He's,
gonna make a
he's
call.
repping over pairs, which he does have in his hand. This is the better board for stats. He's going to have a lot more of the 7s.
Tray of clubs helping nobody. JW still in the lead with jacks.
That's going to take over the betting lead here on the turn. He's going to dunk lead turn. Looks like 125. Slightly under half pot.
Now you have a tough spot here for JW. As you were commenting, that his stats is way more likely to have a 7 in his hand. He's way more likely to have a 10 and or a 3. So he can connect to that board a lot more.
Yeah, it's going to definitely put some pressure on a lot of the overpairs that the JW does have in this specific spot. And that three of clubs on the turn is a relative blank, right?
Yeah.
So actually, it is a blank in its entirety. So
yeah, somebody who called a bet on the flop that 3 should not have any impact.
Unless they hit the dangler.
Right, or if they had a hand like 4, 5, 6 or
Yeah.
something like that, and they're like, well, I'm going to peel one off, and then now they have a, inside wrap. But with the board pair and the flush draw out there, an inside wrap is not super strong either.
And for those of you tuning in, over 75 viewers in the chat, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked, shared, subscribed our YouTube channel here at Champions Club Texas for Champions Poker Live, please go ahead and do that. Have some fun streams with some cash streams coming up, some final tables coming up.
Poker Monkey shouting you out in the chat.
Yeah, shout him back out too. BJ here. Double suited. Pocket 10s. Broadway cards. Again, using this chip stack to put some pressure on the remaining players left here at this final table. Gonna take this one down.
Kind of a quiet final table, which means we're going to have to do a lot more talking, Eddie.
I like, and I get it, right? People are, they're playing for the money. The cash tables are fun because those guys just, they just talk and have a good time. Again, tomorrow from 7 p.m. to midnight, we'll be running a 1-3 stream. Going to be putting that link out to our YouTube channel tomorrow, sometime early in the morning. So look for that. If you're enjoying our live stream here, made some upgrades and improvements to our stream. Still going to continue to do that. Post the fall poker open here.
Yeah, continually adding new things to the stream, which is always exciting to see what you guys are up to on the production side.
So you're part of production too, so.
Well, I know, but I like to pretend like I'm not really part of anything.
Touche.
Someone's got to stand up.
BJ raising it up here with kings. He's got 3 hearts in his hand, and Rockets Will's going to make the call with ace, king, 4, 3 double suited. I really like his hand in this spot. Even though you see kings has slightly more equity, there are a lot more flops that are going to hit Will. Stats getting in there also. Ace, king, jack, 5 double suited.
Yeah, and Sam feeling like he's priced in here.
And against razors and collars, that's really not a bad hand. He's got, if the board comes small like this, it's not a bad flop for him, actually. Rainbow board.
Yeah, if we see this one checking all the way around.
Yeah, nobody really hitting anything there. Let's see what develops on the turn. Spades come out. Board pair to the 8 there.
No one with an 8.
Rockets with the flush draw. He's not going to bet it.
Yeah, I think it's a spot where you can go check call.
Yeah.
Let's see if Stats is going to take a stab here. Now, with him calling on the button, he could have a lot of these cards. Also, Sam in the big blind as well.
And surprisingly, the kings hold up here. 10 in any of those cards makes a straight, so look for it to check around again.
Kings.
And
yeah, agreed. Really weird, really strange. No one had an 8. No one had any straight draws there. That would have been turned or rivered.
It never ceases to amaze me in Omaha when you have, you know, 4 or 5-way action and nobody hits anything.
Right.
It's very strange, but you could see that all of those hands were very coordinated. You know, 2 players had hearts and spades,
right.
a bunch of Broadway cards, and then it just came all middle shelf cards and nobody had them. So that happens.
I'd rather have been heads up than 4-way.
Again, the blinds now 15K for the small blind, 30K for the big blind, and 15K for the big blind ante. For those of you tuning in, the big blind ante for this specific tournament is the lesser of the small blind, or the difference between the big blind and the small blind. Now, when we get to, assuming we do get to heads up and they don't make a deal, the big blind ante will become the big blind ante will be the same as a big blind.
Right. So the opening bet is always 4 times the
Right.
big blind, whatever position you're in.
Sergio here with bad aces. Still going to opt to open.
Not horrible aces, though,
Yeah.
because the Jack-8 are coordinated cards. I always think of bad aces as
Like ace,
8-4 or
9,
something
3,
like that.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
But
unsuited.
Unsuited aces.
Yeah.
He does raise it up, trying to get it heads up. And JW waking up with a really nice hand here on the dealer button. Ace-King suited, Queen-Jack.
I figured he's going to rip it here. Yep, and he does rip it here with aces. Going to try to get an all-in, a three bet rip and a call. I'm sorry, 4-bet rip and a call.
Got a jack, too.
So Sergio with the original open, J-Dub with the 3-bet on the button. Sergio 4-bet ripping it for the rest of his stack here. We're going to go heads up, hand 13, with Sergio's tournament life at stake.
Yeah, Sergio ahead here. You see he's a 70% favorite, but he does have the shorter stack, so he's going to need to stay ahead, or he will be eliminated. All clubs on the flop, neither player with a club draw.
9 for a sweat.
Really good flop for Sergio.
Would you want like a queen for a sweat?
Just wants a low card here. 7 of clubs, and that's going to do it.
Yeah,
Aces
the
are going
hammer
to hold
lock.
up.
Nice double up for Sergio there.
So now he'll be up over 1 million chips.
Yep.
Now putting J-Dub as a short stack at this final table.
And that's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah. Now he came into the final table, I believe, with 665,000. So nice little double up here.
660, basically tied with the short stacks.
Yeah, there's 4 short stacks that came into the final table with just a pinch over 600K. And there we go with the chip counts. BJ and Rockets will up top.
BJ with so many big blinds I can't even calculate it.
Yeah. And like we said, Sergio was towards the bottom of this chip count before that last hand, is now rocketed up to the top 3 in chip count. Again, we've talked about this before with PLO, kind of like the great equalizer. So lots of plays still left. These final 8 remaining players.
Big swings. Short stack could be the big stack in 2 hands.
I think that's why I don't like PLO, just because of the variance.
I think that's why I do like it.
And that's fair. At least I feel like I can control Hold'em slightly more to a certain extent.
When you play Hold'em like me, it's really hard to control.
Got some potential big stream. Actually, I know we have some big streams. Talked about running the 5100 mixed game.
I'm excited about that.
Stepping up the stakes. 10 quarter streams. Got some pretty neat stuff planned out with Will, Bob, and Fireman Scott. So the live stream here at Champions Club Texas, looking to put on a show for you viewers over the next couple of months. Look for some announcements on that.
JW opening this one up with Ace-Jack 6-5. He's got 3 clubs in his hand in the cutoff. Kind of surprised at that open after just taking a big hit to his stack here. That's not really a super premium hand. He's getting called by BJ, and BJ flopping the nut flush draw in a wrap. What a nice flop for him. Oh, I guess it's not a wrap. He's got a pair of queens. I was thinking he had ace jack 10 there.
And the thing about this specific hand, you have to look at who's also in the blinds. So with BJ being in the big blind here, like if BJ was under the gun and folded, I don't necessarily hate this move because, you know, you can get some of these smaller stacks that are in the blinds. But with BJ being the big stack here, he's probably going to defend a ton of opens, especially late positions from a short stack. So
You might see a check raise here from BJ with the nut flush draw and a pair. And here it comes. Yeah, check raises and takes it down.
yeah, a snap full from JW there.
Taking almost half of JW's stack with that hand. And I think JW realizes he made a mistake in that spot. I could just see his face when the camera cut to him. He knew he made a mistake there.
You know, it like hurts the person you beat it.
Oh, yeah. That one felt good. You can hear it.
And now JW definitely the shortest stack with just over 300,000. Getting down to that 10 big blind status.
Again, with these short stacks, we talked about earlier on in the stream, not significant ICM, you know, from 8th to 6th. A little bit of ICM in 5th. All the ICM implications are from 4th to 1st. Some of these smaller stacks may try to, you know, sneak their way into the top 5 for some of these pay jumps.
Folds around to the blinds here. BJ puts in a small raise with King 7-6-6 and gets called by Sergio. Like Sergio's hand better here. But as we said earlier, you're going to see a lot of BJ putting pressure on. Not a good flop for either player, really. Sergio with a gut shot to the wheel, and BJ with a pair of 6s. He's going to keep betting here.
Again, this is a board, even with that ace out there, it's a better board for Sergio.
Good turn for BJ. We know that because we can see the hands, but with a bet and a call there, 3 hearts on board, I think BJ is going to give up on this hand.
And Sergio sensing some slight weakness after that turn check here.
And he's got top 2 pair
Yeah.
and a gut shot, so he's going to fire out 125.
Going to be tough for BJ to continue here. There's not a ton of river cards that he's going to feel comfortable with, even if he makes the straight.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a fold here. I think he grabbed those chips just to try to get a live read. BJ obviously a really good player here. He's going to put pressure on, but he's not going to just dump his chips either.
Right. In a relatively quiet final table here, there is some significant pay implications with this 100K PLO Championship final table.
Definitely.
Total price will what, 121,000?
Yeah, and the difference between 8th place and 1st place is almost $25,000.
Yeah,
so these guys have a lot to think about here, and but you can hear people in the background having fun at Champions Club. We do have several cash games going. We've got a nightly tournament going. And the main event, flight B going today. Flight C starting tomorrow at 11 a.m. We got an open here from Stats. He's got ace, queen, 10-7 with 3 diamonds in his hand. Folds around to Rocket's will. And he's got not a great hand to defend, so he's going to get out of the way.
Yeah, I think that was from a leg position open. If it was like BJ opening, he may defend that. But from a +1 open, that signals a lot of strength. And with him also, you know, with Stats having a short stack, doesn't really want to collide and double up a short stack there, potentially.
Right. I'd probably play that hand from the big blind in a cash game with 7-4 suited in it, but tournament situation.
With some serious pay.
Yeah, 25K difference on the line. I might just go ahead and lay that one down.
And you and I both know PLO is very much a post-flop game. So, you know, you can have the best hand starting out pre-flop, but a lot of it's going to be contingent on how the run out is on the flop, turn, and river. So a lot of these players showing a lot of PLO acumen at this final table. And as expected, a lot of these players playing relatively snug.
And BJ continue to put the pressure on here. Not a super premium hand, but he's going to make it 75,000. Just keep the pressure on these shorter stacks. Kahan in the big blind is one of those stacks with less than 600,000. And BJ stealing from him, adding to his stack, up over 3.6 million now.
Break in 8 minutes? You know if they're gonna stick to that? Adrian, are we gonna go on break in 8 minutes?
You want it or no? Seems like a lot of work for
I
one and a
don't
half,
care.
2.5
I'm
levels.
just gonna, you know,
Yeah.
find a spot to go use the bathroom when I can. If not,
You're gonna wait for the button.
Now, we do, on these final tables, try to minimize breaks.
didn't figure they'd let us break again.
Well, and they just took a break 40 minutes ago.
Yeah,
So
for 30 minutes.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Maybe like one more level into a break or something.
and this 100K PLO was a 3-flight tournament with 30 minutes on day 1. Day 2, levels increased to 40 minutes. So a lot of play, additional play on day 2, culminating here at this final table.
JW limping in here under the gun with Queen, Jack, Jack 9. I don't really love this play. It's not a super great hand, especially with 3 hearts in it. And now BJ, our big stack, waking up with ace, ace, 10, 10, single suited.
Look for
we
a
know he's
raise.
going to raise.
120.
And the problem is with all the pressure he's been putting on, JW likely to defend now that he's limped in and be in really bad shape.
This is a spot where, like, he might, if he's going to go with it, he's just going to have to rip it.
Yeah, and
especially with the short stack, and he knows that.
Right, and BJ is obviously going to call.
There's not a ton left behind if he just calls here. And he is going to make the call.
Wow.
Opts not to just rip it in, leaving himself with about 200K left. And then with him coming into the big blind next too, he's going to have to smash this flop.
And unfortunately, he does not smash the flop.
Not too much that BJ's worried about here, unless it's like, because if J-Dub has pocket kings, he's just going to get it all in pre-flop, right?
You were just big blind, right? Stats.
Right.
Say it again. 5 minutes.
And J-Dub's not going to have, you know, pocket fives, and he's not going to have a lot of bottom sets here, bottom 2 pairs.
Perfect.
The only hand that really could potentially be the only hand BJ would potentially be concerned about is pocket kings. But again, if he had pocket kings, he would have just ripped it in pre-flop and got it in.
There are a couple of rundowns that might have flopped 2 pairs in that spot,
Yep.
but BJ's happily going to call with the strength of his hand.
Definitely getting the correct pot odds to call there. Again, with that call pre-flop, J-Dub here now in the big blind.
With only 190,000
Yeah.
starting. And
If he sees the hand, he may just have to go with
45K
it.
in there between the blind and the ante, so it's going to be in bad shape here. Hoping to wake up to a monster. Action folds around to the cutoff, and Will's going to open with jacks. Jack, Jack, 7-6. Not a super strong hand, but it folds all the way around to the cutoff, and he does have one of the bigger stacks, so he can apply that same kind of pressure that BJ's been doing. They're straight across the table from each other, so it's like when,
it looks
when
like
one
he's
of them
gonna
is
get it
going to be in position, he's going to put the...
Your hand on that.
Yeah. Well, JW waking up with a better hand. He does have queens,
With my suit covered?
so he's the favorite, and
Let's go
he's
4-5.
got Will's suit covered as well. So good shot for JW to double up here through the PLO bracelet winner.
Again, these other short stacks are just kind of hanging around, letting some of these other shorter stacks
King Queen deuce 4 double suit. Then it's a good race.
bust themselves out. Then maybe we're going to try to make some move after making some slight pay jumps here. Again, J-Dub's tournament life on the line here with double suited queens with the lion's share of the equity here.
And a great flop for him. Nut flush draw now to go along with the best hand to start with.
Yeah, Rockets Will drawing really thin here on this turn and river. Going to need a ton of help
Yeah,
on this run out.
just looking to fade jacks, basically. Doesn't want any jack to show up. Well, and that'll do it. Nut flush for JW, and he will double up.
Nice timely double up here.
175?
Again, still the shortest stack here at this final table,
Turn the nuts.
but gives him some breathing room now coming into the small blind. Can see a few more hands as the button passes him and get it in good if he gets in a good spot.
Makes me feel better because if I had aces, I would have lost.
Nearly 100 viewers in the chat, Dan. Thanks for those tuning in. Again, if this is your first time here tuning in, the Champions Poker Live here at Champions Poker Club Texas in Houston, Texas. Go ahead and smash the like button, share and subscribe, and look for more live streams. Cash tomorrow, 1-3, potentially 5-10 on Sunday, and then the main event final table next Monday. And then capping off this Fall Poker Open next Tuesday with the 25,000 free roll tournament of champions for the top 27 point earners throughout this week.
Yeah, super excited for that final table. I think it's going to be a long night, but it'll be a good
Yeah.
event. Skydive.
The mystery cards under the gun. There we go.
It's a mystery hand here. Pretty nice looking hand there.
The dangler with the three hearts, though.
Yeah, 3 spades in the hand. He's just going to get out of the way, out of position there. Skydive, former skydive instructor and now poker player and poker dealer. I've actually worked some events with him. Super nice guy.
Who's this? Barry?
Yeah.
Skydiver? Skydive.
Yeah. We know him as Barry.
Yeah. Looking at the player profile. Blind versus blind here in hand 20. Looks like it was an ace-high flop there, yeah.
Yeah. JW's missing the flop there. Sam just takes a stab at it with a pair of aces and gets it.
Yeah, it was open-ended as well. Top pair with open-ender.
Middle gut shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was open-ender or gut shot? It was gut shot.
Sorry, middle wrap.
Middle wrap, yeah.
The 5, 6, 7. Pretty strong flop, if you can wake up with that in the big blind.
guys have players down. First place is going to get a main event seat, so really put the money back to try again. We're going to do a board, turn card, face down.
Sounds like they're running some Omaha Sweats in the back there.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that we're doing over here at Champions Club. Some of them are scheduled, but I think anytime they have enough players that actually want to do it, they'll run an Omaha Sweat for a seat in the main event. $150 a player. I believe it's 9-handed sweats. And the winner of the one hand of Omaha gets a seat in the main event. So fun times if you like to gamble. Rockets will opening this one up to 75,000 with a mystery hand. Stats make it the call with ace, queen, 10-8 suited to the spades.
Interesting open from Will there. +2.
Yeah. Another example of him just putting the pressure on.
Yep.
And he flops middle set. Turns
A
out
very disguised middle set.
Yeah, it's going to be a good play for him. Sam with an open ender here is the only player that might continue here. Will betting 100,000.
I think he's going to peel one off here.
Yeah, with a rainbow board and an open ender and an over pair, I don't hate the call, but
And he probably knows like Will's repping some potential over pairs.
7-4 gets there, but 4-4 also gets there. Will turning a full house here, a very disguised one, as you said. He's going to continue to bet, and Sam with an overpair might actually like his hand.
Just a break.
But with Will opening, he could easily have aces or kings in this spot.
But yeah.
Somebody stepping away from the final table, forgetting to turn their mic off.
Bad read, lost half my stack.
He had a bad read and lost half the stack, apparently. I'm guessing that must be JW. Ah, there, he turned it off.
And Sam's got to think that, you know, unless Will has like kings or aces here, that this is just not a good board for him.
All right, Dimitri, let's see the last card.
Doesn't have much left
He
behind.
probably thinks if he gets his straight, he's still good, and that's
Yep.
why he's thinking so long.
I just don't
Yeah,
think
I mean,
you liked it.
Yeah, with it being a Badoogie rainbow board,
I have unlimited range. Asian player.
Unlimited range, he says.
Depends how
Turns out
big.
that's right. He raised with 9-9-4-4. That's pretty unlimited.
Queens? Whoa. No.
That means yes.
Had nines.
Really?
he's not lying about the nines.
Yeah, right.
Had nines?
Yeah, right.
I did have nines. You'll see.
With
The other two were better.
were they? Tell me you had me beat.
How'd you beat?
All right. The flop was okay for me.
It looks like they are going to take a couple minute break here.
Was it really?
Look for us to
Double pocket pair?
pull up the remaining chip counts for the players still at this final table.
I'll let you know that one.
And these final
Don't tell
table breaks
anyone
will
else.
only be about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just give the players a chance to get up and stretch their legs, use the men's room, whatever they need to
Daniel will
do.
be proud of you.
Don't tune out just yet. Players will be just right back. And you can see the VPIP here. No surprise. Will and BJ up at the top, keeping the pressure on the shorter stacks. And another look at the payouts. All the players guaranteed $3,500 at this point, but first place, $28,380. That's what everybody at this table is gunning for.
Yeah.
Haven't heard any talk of deal yet. They were joking about it before the stream started, actually. They said, as soon as they say cards in the air, we should all say, you want to chop?
Right.
And there's another look at our upcoming stream schedule. We're going to be streaming a cash game tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time, 1-3, no limit hold'em. And, man, these 1-3 games have been super fun. They don't play like 1-3. They play closer to the 5-10.
Yeah.
1K maximum start, but match the stack after that. And last week we had
HV had like 8K. Jake Daniels played the 1-3 stream, right? Wes Cutshaw played the 1-3 stream. I think we had 3 or 4 stacks with 5K plus
Oh, yeah.
on a 1-3 stream.
very first hand last week. All in
Kings versus
Queens.
Turn-
Somebody goes bust, so now all of a sudden all the stacks are 2K.
Yeah.
And there's a look at the remaining schedule of the Fall Poker Open. We've got the Omaha Sweats for seats coming up. We've got main event Flight D. Flight C tomorrow on that. Mega satellites, turbo satellites, and then of course we have our nightly tournaments. And really excited about that 25K free roll coming up on Monday. So all of the players that have played in these events and cashed have earned points.
Yep.
Top 27 points earners are going to get into this free roll. 25K in the prize pool, 10,000 for first place. And we're going to stream the final table of that one as well. And I think that's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see players that only play nightly tournaments.
Right.
Playing against these guys that are, you know, playing the bigger tournaments. And I think it's just going to be interesting to see the dynamic.
Agreed, 100%. And this is an actual true 25K free roll. Like none of the prize pool, none of this 25K is coming from any of the other prize pool. This is money that Champions management and ownership is putting up. So, you know, one of them, and there we go right there. 25K Tournament of Champions free roll, 10K for first place.
And again, this is just going to be a short break here for the players, so don't go anywhere if you're out there chatting with us, and be sure to give us a like and a subscribe. We'll get right back to the PLO action. Got Jerome in the chat mentioning that Aaron's coming in, best dealer. Yeah, this is a dealer that's I worked with Aaron for about 12 years on the road. Great dealer, great guy. Glad to have him here at Champions Club. We've got a bunch of dealers in-house now that are normally traveling road dealers. They work World Series of Poker events, WPT events, all that kind of stuff. And it's great to see all these guys here. That's something that I used to do for years. And these guys are like my road family. It's good to see them all here in Houston.
And here at Champions, put together a strong management team, especially on the poker side, with a lot of these floors, FSRs, having years and years experience, you know, at the circuit level, but also, you know, for the actual WSOP series in Vegas. So we pride ourselves in putting together the best team available to give our players the best experience and best cash games, best tournaments.
Couldn't agree more. And all great friends, too.
Yeah.
All great people to work with and around. Except for Brian. He's kind of a jerk. Don't tell him I said that, though.
Pretty sure this is going to be on YouTube forever, so.
Oh, shoot. Well, he probably already knows. No, Brian and Dave are tournament director and assistant tournament director. They came up with these structures, putting on a great event, and you see those guys out there walking the floor, you know, 12 hours a day, every day during this whole series, and just doing a great job. Blinds up now, big blind 40K,
They were just
big blind
showing
Annie 20K.
I don't know if you can see it, but
Put
that TV had
more
it on.
pressure on those
Right?
shorter
You can
stacks.
see
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
These stacks,
Pretty big
about
jump.
550, 600,000 or
Well,
less,
it
are going to
was,
be
but-
put into some tough spots now. Again, with day 2
Did it?
being here now,
I don't trust people that wear sunglasses.
blind
inside
levels
ever.
went up from 30 minutes to 40 minutes. So there's slightly more play, but these short stacks are going to have to make some moves pretty soon. Try and double up,
Well, maybe in this room.
pick up some
it's
chips,
bright.
especially from our two big chip leaders.
Yeah.
Rockets Will in the 2 seat and
It was bright and
BJ
hot.
in the 8 seat.
It used to be like that.
Yeah, average stack now 1.1 million, just under 30 big blinds. But as you were saying, some of these stacks, I think we have 3 or 4 stacks here at that 600,000 level. So pressure going to be on them
They might
right
be
at
able to
15
change it
big
since
blinds.
not Getting any players. Might be able to move over to the 9. Maybe.
And Sergio waking up with a pretty nice looking hand here. You'd like to see that ace be suited, but ace, king, jack, 4, definitely a playable hand. And he's got some chips now. King, jack suited. And it looks like he's going to raise it up 60,000. He's going to have to make it 80,000.
24.
Oh.
80,000 is the raise. 2, 3, 4 folded.
Folds around to the blinds here. BJ in the big blind. Most likely to defend almost any hand, and he wakes up with a decent one. Double suited, king, queen, 6-4. Obviously, you want your cards to be more coordinated, but any double suited hand, you're definitely going to defend, especially when you get all the chips in the world. And he flops top 2 pair here. Goes check, check. 9 of hearts comes off. Probably going to see BJ bet here. We got some draws that are coming in. Doesn't want to give any more free cards away. He bets 75% of the pot, 150,000.
Not too many river cards that Sergio is going to feel very comfortable with, so probably going to see him lay this hand down.
Yeah, BJ's worried about hands like Jack 10 getting a free card there, so he's going to put some pressure on. Sergio doesn't have Jack 10, so he really doesn't have anything to call with here.
Tough spot here for Sergio.
Board I need right there, Will.
Would have been. I was just thinking that actually.
I don't like that. On the turn.
Yeah, that rainbow board there. BJ using his chip stack size, knowing that the 6, 3, and 9 really don't interact well with Sergio's under the gun opening range there in that spot.
Looks like we're going to get a little color into BJ's stack there. He's got too many stacks of chips in his way. Got a question in the chat about what the starting stacks are and how long the levels are. I can't remember what the starting stack was. Started with 30-minute levels yesterday. When they got combined to day 2, or sorry, for both starting flights, 30-minute levels, and now they're 40-minute levels here for day 2. I know the tournament director's in the chat, so he'll probably put what the starting stack was. But
Just
I feel
pulled it
like
up.
was a, oh yeah,
$600 buy-in with 510 going to the price. We'll start with 40K starting stack.
that's right.
And as Dan said, day 1 for the 3 flights, 30-minute levels, bumping up to 40-minute levels here on this day 2, now leading into this final table.
And we just heard Will earlier saying the starting stack should have been 25K. Yeah, they're complaining about too many chips. Now, it's an excellent structure. When they got to the final table, average stack was pretty close to 40 big blinds. And now that they've gone through a couple of levels, that stack size is closer to 30 big blinds. But you're going to see a lot of play here. It's not all in or fold every single hand.
Look at this. BJ here turning 3s full aces, I believe. Yep.
Yeah. Calling with the flush draw, getting the boat instead. Dangerous situation to have the underboat, but any boat's a good boat when your head's up, so he's going to bet 85,000. Excuse me, that's Sergio bluffing 85,000. BJ with the boat here. And the flush gets there too. BJ hitting both of his hands. Probably not feeling super great about the underboat. He will check call again, most likely.
He's going to lead out on this river here.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Grabbing potential calling chips, unless those cards did not scan correctly, which I don't think they did. He's not beating.
Ace 3.
Interesting call there by Sergio, assuming that his cards read correctly.
Yeah, just a pair of queens, if that was the correct
Nice turn.
read there. We haven't seen any misreads so far, so, but this is a new dealer and a new deck, so could be.
Kurt, to answer your question, excuse me, $250 mega to the main, 3 seats guaranteed, $250 for the buy-in. Starting stack is 20K with the 20-minute levels, and that is registration is open for 6 levels. So you're going to have slightly over 2 hours of registration with a 15-minute break in between. Oh, with a 15-minute break after level 6. So the 7 p.m. mega to the main on Saturday. I don't think there's going to be a Saturday main mega unless it's in the morning. I got to
think
check the
that's
schedule.
tonight that he's talking about.
Okay. Again, for any of those of you with questions regarding the rest of this tournament series, specifically related to the main, we have a few nightlies and stuff, so go ahead and pose that question in the chat.
I hear pot announced.
16.
Skydive in there again with a mystery hand. Hopefully we'll get a scan of that. I'd like to see what he's potting with. BJ waking up with ace-10 4 deuce with 3 spades in his hand on the button. He's going to get out of the way. And Sergio choosing not to defend queens in the small blinds.
Called
Will
with the
pot
5
size
in my
bet.
hand.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Barry's got the
The
kings.
replacement card
And
was
he's going to take it
terrible.
down uncontested.
Gave me like an ace or something.
Another wheel draw.
This is Skydive's first time ever playing at a
And
streaming
you beat
final
me.
table.
Oh, is
but
it really?
But he
Awesome.
has dealt a number of
Wheel, my name.
WSOP events that were streamed or televised.
And we started this final table about an hour and a half ago. I've only lost to 1 player. Again, we have a number of short stacks.
But even the short stacks
Yeah.
are at about 15 bigs, so it's there's nobody that's like a all-in or fold situation
Right.
yet. But about 1 more level, and they're going to be there. So pressure to start building your stack up a little bit.
Right. BJ looking to gonna look to apply some pressure to these smaller stacks, with the exception of Will behind. Will in the big blind. Oh, we're gonna opt the full king queen suited. Con hasn't been active at all on this final table. With the mystery cards, but going to get him to scan his cards. Oh, he looks like he's going to repot.
Kahan is potting it.
And I just foresee BJ just getting it all in. There's not much left for it behind for Con here after potting it. Yeah, 165. I guess he can just see a flop and evaluate it. There's not going to be too many flops that BJ is going to be folding on, assuming he makes the call here.
I think if either of those kings was suited, you'd have an instant jam here, but he's not liking
Right.
the dangler, and he's not liking having 0 suits.
And he knows that.
Yeah.
And that's a high level fold there. You know, like
Turn 'em over.
you'll see people at the 1-3 level that just
Oh, there we go. The hands finally scanned there, and he did have aces with a suited to the diamonds. So
and I think the fact that that's the first hand that Con has played that I can recall, and the first 25 hands of this PLO final table, he probably is putting him potentially on aces in that spot right there. Or something that has a lot of post flop equity.
Folded bad aces. Right
Yeah, like you said, if BJ didn't have that dangler, had some slightly more connectivity in terms of, you know, flush or straight cards, you know, he may be willing to put some more chips in there.
a disciplined fold, putting the pressure on, but getting out of the way. when necessary. So playing it like a big stack should be playing a final table.
Pot.
Barry opening this one up to 160,000, full pot-sized bet from under the gun +2.
Strong move with not that many chips left behind.
Yeah. And again, not getting a read on that hand. We will not find out what the mystery is this time. But I'm liking Skydive's raising pot instead of smaller raises at this point, because he is one of the shorter stacks. He's sending the signal that he's willing to get his whole stack in there.
Right, exactly.
And picking up blinds and antes doing so. Jim Coyle in the chat. Hi, Jim. Thank you so much.
I believe Jim and Dory both had a day off today.
Jim was the winner of our
Big
Big
O
O tournament.
He stone bubbled yesterday.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Got it in 8.
Sick needle, bro. You know he's listening right now.
I know he's listening. Jim, Dory, and Alicia and I were kind of sweating Jim. Got it all in pre-flop, I think, under the gun +1 with ace-10 of clubs. Got on the button calls with ace-jack offsuit and just holds.
I guess that's one of y'all
Jim
too.
played great, just went card dead at the wrong time, but I'm sure he's going to refire. Jim, I believe, is atop the leaderboard for the TLC.
Nice.
Oh, who's doing it right?
Should be a bonus for the for more points.
Oh,
Right.
no, feels weird.
But there is not.
Apparently not.
We need to learn from the one
BJ
doing it
opening
right.
it up again, this time with better kings. And it's going to fold all the way around,
To be
picking
fair,
up
we
the
see one
blinds and the
person's
antes
folding
here.
range the whole time. No one else's.
Putting frequent pressure on. He's hoping to get calls when he actually has these premium hands, but it's also nice to just pick up the blinds and antes uncontested every so often.
Now BJ with nearly half of the chips in play for this final table.
Oh, y'all playing the
About
main?
4.2, 4.3 million, again with about 9.5
Maybe.
total chips in play.
What time you gotta be in? Or when you gotta be in Chicago?
Well, the room up there starts on Tuesday, but I don't care. It's cheap.
Oh yeah. You're still playing in the main.
Bob
then?
Coten in chat.
Event's Monday.
Thanks for tuning in, watching your boy Will
Oh, okay.
So
in the 2 seat and
Driving or flying?
I got
Sticky Stats in the 4 seat.
Got me my soccer.
we
This is a
may-
pretty star-studded final table.
Oh, yeah.
Unless
We got some
somewhere else.
really good players here.
I know.
We may have a card read
horribly
issue between the
Is it a Toyota Sienna?
2 and 3 seat this time. I saw a card ricochet onto a different reader, so hopefully those players are not involved in this hand because it might be an issue. BJ with kings again, opening it up and single suited. Surprised. Oh, never mind. Sergio calling here with ace, queen, jack, 10 suited to the hearts. Really strong hand. BJ with kings, single suited. And we're heads up to the flop. Basically a coin flip here. And Sergio taking the lead here, flopping an ace. A little less than half the pot. BJ does have a gut shot to the wheel. And he's got that king of spades. But he's going to get out of the way. Another disciplined fold by our chip leader. And looking forward to October. We've got some new promos that we're going to be announcing soon. We're the only poker club in Texas that has a hotel on site. So if you come play at Champions Club, wherever you're at, you can come in and stay here at Champions Club. And a lot of these players are doing that now. We do have a poker rate. Look us up and come check us out. 6440 West Sam Houston Parkway South right here in Houston, Texas. And we've got a raise here from Stats. Wakes up with Ace-King, 9 trade, double suited in the cutoff. Raises it to 150,000. And Sam looking down at a double suited hand in the small blind, but not super connected. He decides to get out of the way. And Skydive will fold as well. Stats picking up another pot without looking at a flop.
So we did redrawing. Dealers in the nightly, put the button in seat number 9. We still have 12 minutes left with 2, 4, and 4. Shuffle up and deal. Cards in there, nightly, 2, 4, and 4.
Will in under the gun +1. Looks like he's going to open this one up with Queen Jack 9-9 with suited Queen 9 to the clubs. Makes it 125 to go. So I like these middle shelf cards sometimes. It's well disguised, especially if you open up in an early position. And Will being one of the chip leaders here, taking the opportunity to put some pressure on. It's going to fold around to BJ in the big blind here. And not a super strong hand. I don't think you're going to see him defend with this one.
Yeah.
3 hearts, they're all low hearts.
I know that was a call.
Glad I made it
Pretty close.
125.
Not easy.
Glad I made it 125.
Now, if the big blind inning was 40K, and as BJ said, that if he made the sizing a little smaller, he probably could have defended that hand again with Will opening slightly bigger than 3x, and with the big blind ante being half of the big blind, not as incentivized to defend your blinds as wide as you would like.
But again, these players typically not opening up for a pot size bet, so they're putting on pressure, but they're saving a little bit of that from Will. And another nice hand. Folds around to the blinds. BJ this time will defend in the small blind with Jack 10-7. Much more connected hand here. Single suited to the clubs.
I know I couldn't make you fold your blind twice. I'm gonna try it.
And we'll be heads up here to the 2 chip leaders going at it. Will in the lead and in position and flopping top set.
Yeah, open-ended for BJ, though, I believe.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
No spades.
Yeah, we probably see him continue here if he had spades
Right.
or even backdoor diamonds, but
He may peel one off, though.
yeah, it's a pretty small bet. 75,000 into 310.
Yeah, slightly under quarter pot.
Will really smashing that flop there. And peeling off a tray of hearts gives him the top full house.
Oh,
Check, check. He's hoping spades get there now.
oh wow.
And the Jack 10 does make a straight now. Will with top full house.
I wonder if BJ's going to go into check call mode. Looks like he is.
He does check. We know Will's going to put in a bet. It's just how much.
I think this is a board he can bet relatively large on. Yeah, it looks like he can go 350.
And it is 350.
Now again, even though Will has a big stack opening from under the gun, he's He's going to have a lot of these over pairs like queens, kings, and aces.
Yeah, he's just hoping BJ puts him on aces and thinks his straight
Yeah.
is good.
But even aces, I think, just checks back this river. Or bet smaller than this. Relative to the pot, I mean, it's like I bet 350 into what was it, 460?
Yeah, that's correct. He does get the call.
Things are good.
So nice hand there, Rockets will.
That check back on the turn, they're definitely gotten paid on that river when the straight comes in.
Yeah. And getting some chips off the chip leader there. I don't think Will wants to tangle too much with the chip leader, but he is going to when he has the goods.
Yeah, 20, 40.
Coming in with the dealer change. Here are the chip counts. J-Dub and Sam, the two short stacks, 8 and 4 big blinds respective.
I would have flatted.
And Sam would just
That was a pretty good river for me.
10 jack.
trying to look at his position there. So J-Dub's going to be in the big blind first. Sam's got about 3 hands here before he has to worry about
Wish it would have came 9 on the turn.
paying that big blind, but he's going to want to
That would have been easy.
get those chips in the middle as soon as he can here. Look for him to raise if he gets anything good. Matt coming back into the dealing box.
Sam coming up in the blinds pretty soon. He's going to have to get his chips in. Hope to double up here with only 4 big blinds left. So look for him to get his chips in the next few hands. Con relatively quiet other than that pot with aces out of the big blind a few hands ago.
And this will not be the hand for Sam. Action folds all the way around to BJ in the big blind, or on the button rather. 2 pairs in his hand. He's going to open this one up to 100,000. It looks like. No, 125. Sorry. Sergio gets out of the way, but Will waking up with kings, single suited, going to make the call here. Best hand, but out of position.
Does have BJ's clubs covered.
And this is actually a really good flop for BJ here. Having opened this, he's going to have an ace, at least one ace in his hand a lot of the time. And he's going to have Broadway cards in his hand a lot of the time.
Defending all. Defending all big blind hands.
I think Will showed the 7 deuce.
I believe that's correct.
I was in trouble.
BJ probably
Showed the deuces. Little meta game going on here at this final table
or
between
perhaps
the two.
the 10 deuce.
Yeah, between the 2 chip leaders here.
Yeah.
I think I had the best hand there. Can't show me 2 2s and have a better hand.
Well, he did show the deuces.
The other 2 cards were really good.
Ace is good.
Oh, ace was good.
I had kings again, man. Just didn't think it was going to be good. It's hard to flop kings twice in a row. It's hard to flop once in a row. Exactly. You ever play like, oh man, I've had 8s like 7 times. This is set every time. It's got to hit the next one. For sure in cash games, I play like that all the time.
Could I get 2 Topicos with lime, please? Anybody else need anything? No one's drinking water. I'm worried about them.
Folds all the way around to the blinds here, and Will's going to limp in. Ace, queen, 8-7, suited to the queen. And Con with a ace, queen, 9-7, suited to the 9. Very similar hands here.
pretty much a coin flip now. I think, was it Will that flopped 8s?
Yeah, top pair for Will. Neither player has diamonds, but Khan does have the ace of diamonds, so he could
card
choose
goes
to
diamond.
represent. But again, haven't seen a whole lot of that naked ace bluffing here, and you're probably not going to in a tournament situation.
Will showing the 7. Was it the 7 he showed?
Yeah, 7 of diamonds he showed. That's my very favorite card, 7 of diamonds.
Right. 7-4 specifically, other 2 card.
Right, but the 7 of diamonds is my favorite one. 4 diamonds is my
Ready?
second favorite
Big
card.
blind coming up.
Dun,
Going right here.
dun,
Alright.
dun.
Might try to open Jack, Jack, Deuce 4 on you again. You might get lucky.
Save me a couple $100,000, thank
I know you had Queen, Queen, Deuce 4. I had 6, 7. Even worse. Should just let y'all fight it out.
J-Dub here. See if he's going to get his
Blind is
chips in
blind.
here.
you. Got me. I had the ace 9-9.
Jacks in
Hard to
his
beat this
hand.
hand.
Just going to limp.
We've seen this move before. And Sam is going to jam him, pot it in.
Got both y'all in the spot, huh?
Mystery hand, but we know Sam only had 4 big blinds. He's looking to get a double up
Figured
before he gets to that big
One of y'all
blind.
should post with both stacks.
Hopefully they'll scan his cards before
One
we
of you
get to
post
the
with both stacks.
flop here.
Gentlemen, in that Hollywood, don't really mean it kind of way.
Well, we
No,
do
It's
have an
going to be
all-in
the 2
and a call.
small stacks here.
Wow,
Jack
we
versus
doing
King.
this? Yeah,
Sam, the shortest stack.
Looks like King,
Looks like
King,
kings.
King,
Put a
King,
10 in the
4-3.
window. Make it
It's gonna be
Single
Single
seven.
suited, maybe?
It's all black cards.
It's gonna be 7, 8, 4.
We'll see an
2
overhead
hearts.
shot in a minute here. Other guy.
7, 8, 4, 2 hearts. The 4 is gonna be a heart.
It's a King 3, 4.
It still didn't scan.
Yeah, that's the problem with the PLO a little bit.
Just want 2 black deuces and it's a good flop for you.
10 8 would be nice.
Well, it'd be nice to see for the percentages, but we do know that kings are ahead here. It's probably going to be like a 70-30 situation.
Probably going to be top set versus straight on the flop.
The 10 8
But with JW's hands way more connected, so it might be closer to 60-40.
King, King,
Sam.
4-3, single suited to the King of clubs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to override it, the software on the production side.
There we go.
Again, it shows that he has only 175. It looks closer to about 250
Something interesting.
in his stack for Sam.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, look at
or,
that.
Or a gut shot.
Set of
The
kings.
set of kings.
Flush draw, straight draw for
Oh, you got a gut
JW.
shot too.
Well, it's gotta
Not like
be.
it matters.
It's gotta be the 10 of spades.
What is this?
And a 4 of spades comes off. No help.
This makes
That's
it
a big sweat right here, River.
Any heart, any
Oh.
10.
Wow, you made a set too.
Set of jacks will not help. So that will be a true double up here for Sam, our short stack.
Gets him to, again, I think he has slightly more than,
Yeah, he's got about 250 there.
Take your 20.
Oh, and that leaves JW with
Put it as
almost
Annie.
nothing.
yeah,
Just
he's
first,
actually in the
Annie,
big
or-
blind, so
20K, so he's going to be all in for 20K here.
Wow, what a luck pot.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
How does he do it?
Set him set.
again, J-Dub here, we're on
You
the
ever think
brink
about
of
bowling kings?
elimination, only has the big blind ante. Now here
Hey, Joe.
versus some, you know, other rooms where big blind ante goes first, the big blind actually goes first here. So he will be eligible for everything.
Be crazy if this was a bounty.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where it actually
Crazy
makes a
right
big
now for that.
difference. In a big blind ante first situation, he would only be able to win his own 20K back, which would be a terrible, situation, because then he would be all in again the very next hand in the small blind. So at least this way, he has a shot to win some chips
That's
here.
not a bad hand to get it in with, though.
Yeah, he's all in here. He does have queens. He's single suited. And it folds all the way around to the button. He would have loved to see everybody call, but just in case. And Khan here,
Maybe just limp here.
yeah, not a terrible hand. It's going to cost him 40K to call.
40. Big blind.
And Stats will get in there as well with some small and middle cards.
Probably going to check this down unless somebody has something that runs out significantly big.
And we can see that 5 of the clubs that JW is looking for are in the other hands. But he still manages to flop 3 clubs. And he's got a king.
Now Khan here with the best hand with 2 pair. See, we have 6-7.
I didn't see a 6-7.
So Khan here with the best hand again. They're going to check it down to ensure elimination of JW.
And
Let's
that,
What,
did he
blind
sweat? Did he
hand?
sweat the hand? I don't think he looked.
Good game.
yeah,
Good game.
And
Okay.
J-Dub eliminated in 8th place.
he'll be taking home over $3,500 for his efforts here today, but obviously everybody's gunning for that top spot, $28,380. And nice run, though. Made it through a field of 238 players. And now we're down to 7 at the final table.
I think you can just go up to the cage. Oh, no, not for that.
And some middling stacks here between 12 and 15 big blinds between Con Skydive, Sam, and Stats. Sergio relatively healthy with about 30 big blinds. And again, BJ and Rockets will
Yeah, he ran out trips with 1 card.
with the lion's share of the chips in play remaining at this final table.
And Skydive, very nice hand here. Ace, King 10. No suits, though. You would love to see at least 1 suit there, but that's still a great hand. He's going to pot it. He is one of the shorter stacks.
Still in the main? Still in the main?
Folds around here. We have a dead small.
How many people left?
Oh, every time you've done this, you've had it.
And
How many
Sam
How many
just
bags?
got these chips. One of the other shorter stacks here.
Semi-connected.
Mystery hand. He's going to get folded.
2.
That can go to 60 hearts right now.
And Skydive taking another one down uncontested. I do like his strategy of always potting it when he opens, sending the signal he's willing to get his chips in there, and so far it's
Good thing
worked
you
out
played,
for him.
man. You're almost
And again, you have to be wary as a player. The player not playing a ton of hands and just potting
Oh, I
it.
do.
You know they're pretty nutted, right? So
It's going to be a good time.
a lot of these players, again, are very, very experienced, probably recognizing that from Skydive and opting not to tangle them, get him a chance to pick up some additional chips
You're putting my 60
to give him a little more play on this final table.
EJ with crappy jacks here, but he does have all the chips in the world. He's going to open it to 100,000.
But Doogie Jacks,
Sergio going to make the call here with Queen 8-4 suited to the diamonds.
Y'all like to put hands against each other.
It's going to fold around to the big blind here, and Skydive waking up with aces again. Another kind of a crappy set of aces here. With a raise and a call already, he may just limp.
Hot.
Yep.
No, he's going to jam it in there. Get as much as he can.
440.
and he knows that Sergio probably isn't that strong.
Just calling.
Yeah, just calling.
So maybe
But he is calling it under the gun open, though. So it does show some relative strength. Not significant stroke, but a little bit of strength.
well, he's going to get it at least heads up here as JB has folded already. PJ, rather.
He waited exactly till you got them all out there.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I would have
Saw that.
Once you started putting them like that, I would have waited until the very end. All right, he's serious.
Well, you, I would have expected.
Tournament
He's
director
serious.
Adrian Lopez back there making some room for the players, getting some seats out of the way. the most comfortable
little different
poker
PLO
chairs
than
I've ever
holding
sat
it.
on in
Oh,
my
yeah.
life.
PLO, you just got to choose if you want to gamble. Yeah.
Thinking about taking one up to my room, just sneaking in on the
Want to
elevator.
gamble here? No.
I mean, now that I just said that, they probably all know.
Well, they probably would know anyway. Those
Right.
chairs are about $1,000 a piece.
Yeah, they're
so
not.
I think they're about 800
Yeah.
actually. But still.
But still, yeah. You got to think about 25 tables times 9 plus extra. That's
much you got?
some significant inventory right there, just
Yeah.
in chairs.
Must in my fridge.
Blinds are like 3K or something?
Just an hour and a half into this final table. Event 11, 100K PLO Championship,
Bag big, don't worry about bagging.
$121,000
Keep the
total
pressure on.
prize pool. 7 players
And 9
left
people's
remaining.
Six players left.
Oh, you're right. 6 players left.
Oh wait,
7.
7's right.
Yeah. Okay.
One of us is going to be right. And BJ with aces this time, single suited to the clubs, and Sam is going to choose this one to defend. King 8, 6, 5. I don't hate it. He's double suited. He's got those middle cards
Yeah,
that
a
if
little
you
bit
do
of a
hit,
rundown.
it's kind of disguised.
Middling rundown hand there.
And he's going to miss here, but he does have a gut shot. BJ with backdoor clubs and a gut shot to Broadway with his aces, and it goes check, check.
Does have his clubs, Sam's clubs covered.
Diamonds get there. Neither player has a single diamond in their hands, so
See if Sam's going to attack this board now. He opts to do so. Betting about 1/3 pot. Looking to pick up some additional chips here from the chip leader.
hard for aces to be good in this spot, but BJ's looking at the stack size and seeing if he feels like Sam is making a move here.
I don't recall. So was it did Sam limp the button and then BJ raised the big blind and then he just called? I don't remember. I didn't see the pre-flop action. So
I believe that's I think that's exactly what happened.
okay.
Yeah.
Now with the 4th diamond coming on board,
You're good. Aces.
it's less likely for Sam to have a flush in this spot. Now Sam in danger of being
That was a nice
eliminated
one.
has
That
about
was a nice
4,
call.
slightly over 4 big blinds
I
left.
had the ace of diamonds, so I knew he was bluffing, but you didn't have the ace of diamonds. Way different with
Now
your
we're
hand.
going to 25-50 now. So
Knowing what you know now,
another
do you wish you would have bet the river?
big jump
Yep.
Do you think he would have called, or do you think?
with 7 players
think he
remaining.
called,
Stack
right? Does he
size,
have to?
average stack
Think he
size
does
now at
too.
27 big
it.
blinds,
I
but
mean,
That's what I'm saying.
And
that's
as
a
these
little
blinds,
misleading because there's nobody has an average stack
Right.
here. We got
Maybe
two
not.
monster
Maybe he
stacks
thinks,
and
man,
a,
this
and a
guy's
lot
just-
of guys that are in that 600
Not
range.
bluffing.
yeah, and then Sergio has like that
you.
middling, like 20-something big blinds, and everybody else is just.
It would have worked against
15
like
big
6
blinds or
players
less.
instead.
Yeah, Sergio's the only average size stack.
And unless some of these smaller stacks double up or pick up some
Including
chips for
myself,
these
too.
bigger stacks,
Okay.
could lose
I don't
one
know,
or two
anytime
players
Booth
in
and
this
Diamond come,
level.
I might not fold.
3 outs. 3 goddamn outs he hit.
I had more than that. A little more.
I had the flush. I had this 2 pair.
Yeah, no. I had trip outs. I had another straight draw. Bigger 2 pair. Maybe bigger 2 pair.
Stats with a suited ace there, but his hand
Well,
was a
just
little
calling you on
disconnected. He
gutter.
gave it some thought, but he's going to wait for a better spot. And it turns out to be a good thing because Skydive waking up with aces again, shouting pot from the
Look at
button.
this.
And EJ with kings. King, king, queen, 9. Very connected hand. No suits, but obviously going to at least call here. We might see him try to isolate. Skydive has picked up a few chips in these last few rounds, potting it a few different times. He's right at 840,000, so it could put a dent in BJ's stack here. He may just call, peel off a flop.
He's got to know that Skydive isn't potting it light here in this spot.
Yeah, one would think, but he has potted it. We know that he's had aces every time he's done it, but he has potted it like 4 times in the last 10 hands.
Yeah, just looking at
And with the and with him having kings here, oh, he does opt to come back over the top.
All right, we have an all-in call here. Skydive with the best hand,
Aces versus aces?
but
Kings.
with the
Wow. What a
shorter
tool.
stack here, he will be in danger of being eliminated in 7th place. And if he doubles here through BJ, he's going to have a really nice size stack.
Right.
Like 1.7 million or
I think
so.
he'll jump in second in chips after this hand.
Yeah.
Now, if BJ wins this hand, he's going to take a significant commanding lead. He's going to have nearly 5 million of the chips in play.
Something like that, yeah. So here we go. And we've got hearts out there. Nobody has a heart.
He gets a queen.
Draw. Ace is still in the lead. But BJ does flop a pair here, so now a 9 will help him, or another queen.
Oh, wow.
And
Everybody's
10
picked up some outs here.
Yeah, 10 gives BJ an up and down straight draw. Cut shot to Broadway for Skydive.
Oh,
and
boy.
the 3rd queen for BJ, and that will eliminate Skydive in 7th place.
Drawing somewhat thin on the river there. Hits one of the cards he needs to eliminate. And again, now, BJ with nearly half of the actually approximately half of the chips in play, with Skydive being eliminated in 6th place.
7th place, taking home
7th place,
41.30.
right. 7th place, so 6 players remaining.
My aces.
Right down the street.
Crack my aces.
$4,130 for Skydive's efforts there.
He had 3 queens. Yeah. So, yeah.
Now look at this. Sam here with 3 big blinds. Ladders up.
And BJ with almost 100 bigs now, final table.
Oh my
Coloring
God.
up some more chips here.
Nice little $500 pay jump there for, assuming
I had aces.
Sam busts relatively quick, but gets a little $500 pay jump.
In a row over there.
Almost a buy-in. Again, it's a $600 buy-in with 510 going to the prize pool.
I'm not.
Yeah, just unlucky for Skydive that he got aces so frequently. Yeah, at some point, people stopped believing the pots, but we saw that he had aces every time he potted it.
Under a floor.
Be able to put your cards on your.
And it's funny how hand distribution works sometimes like that, where you don't see aces all day and then you get them 3 times in 5 hands. With only 6 players remaining, average stack now jumps up to 30 big blinds. So again, still plenty of play, but as we were saying before, BJ with about half the chips in play. So we have a couple of monster stacks here, and then half the table at relatively short stack sizes. Action folds around to the blinds here, and Sergio's going to pot it with queens and get a call from Will here, who's got ace, king, 9 deuce with 3 spades in his hand. And Will is going to flop the best of it here. King 4-4 gives Will top pair with an ace kicker where Sergio has king queen. And now a spade draw also for Will. Take a commanding lead here. You don't see 80-20 very often in Omaha.
Right. There's not too many King X combos that are ahead of Sergio, outside of Ace King, with him having a king in his hand, and him double blocking King Queen. Right? There's not. Yeah. Pretty much.
To be close to all in for Sergio here, yeah.
In a tough spot here. Flopping top pair. Turning the second nut flush draw. It is a paired board, though.
Yeah, and Will in the big blind with all those chips has all the fours in his hand.
Right.
Lot more likely to hit a paired board in Omaha than you are in Hold'em.
And Sergio here has got to think, with Sam having such a short stack, from an ICM perspective here, with just on a paired board a flush draw, you know, it behooves him to fold in this spot to potentially ensure himself a ladder up.
Yeah, it's almost, well, it's exactly $800 difference
Right.
between 6th and 5th. So folding here could be worth $800.
Right. Again, with a $600 buy-in, you know, 1 1/3 of a buy-in there. Because you got to think, okay, he calls here, right? Will's going to put them all in on the river on pretty much any river card, considering the number of chips in the middle, assuming Sergio calls here.
Right, and the only river you want to see is a queen.
Right. And even that, yeah, that's literally the only card you're going to feel comfortable with.
If you thought your king-queen was good, your chips would already be in.
Right. Now, if Sam didn't have such a short stack, you know, and there not being any significant ICM implication here, again, it's $800, right? Yeah, good fold there from Sergio.
Maybe skink or bluff.
Will shows the deuce of spades.
Let's see on TV.
I was in that range. Other one deuce diamond river.
Good bluff.
One to bluff. I have the best hand.
I had a king.
I have the best hand. I had you in a lot. Maybe not a lot of trouble, but pretty. Yeah, I had you in a lot of trouble.
And Will know exactly where he's at.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
got
you don't win a bracelet at the
Ace is
series
in a lot of trouble.
in the type of event. I think I couldn't remember. I think his was the mixed Omaha where there's like 3 variations of it.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
And then Fireman Scott was the one that won. Was it ROE? I believe.
And
If anybody in the chat, please correct me if I'm wrong.
both of those guys in the room today.
Yep.
BJ with the aces here, single suited, ace, ace, 9-5 is going to make it 150 to go. Not quite pot-sized bet, but enough to get everybody to fold around to the big blind here. Con waking up with a double suited hand, king, jack, 8-4, diamonds and hearts. Not connected enough for him to want to put his stack at risk, especially like you were saying before with Sam's short stack there. These shorter stacks are going to wait for him to either double up or go broke.
Right.
Everybody waiting for that big blind to get to Sam.
Right.
Before they're going to commit anything here. Other than the big stacks, who are just going to keep applying pressure. Difference between 6th place and 1st place, $22,000. And Will's going to pot it here. Ace, king, jack, 5.
Put in these small stacks.
Suited to hearts, yeah. We got two shorter stacks in the blinds, putting maximum pressure on.
And Will and BJ putting on a clink and showing how to use your big stack to your advantage against these smaller stack. Again, these players know that Sam in the 6th seat, very short stack, looking for him to hopefully bust to get that $800 ladder. Is it $800 ladder up? Yeah, $800 ladder up. Here are chip counts as we get in another dealer change. Stats and Sam. Actually, Con, Stats, and Sam with 10 big blinds or less.
And Sam, the shortest stack, now in that big blind position.
Yeah, and he's just going to have to go with it really soon. level 24, about 10 minutes in or so. 25K for the small blind, 50K for the big blind, and 25K for the big blind ante. There are your payouts.
Yeah, so Sam with about a third of his chips in the middle already here. Probably going to have to defend with almost any hand. And BJ is going to let Will put the pressure on.
Yeah, Shane, I noticed that Sam, he's been scanning his cards, like trying to do it individually, but
Sergio waking up with a monster here. Ace,
Yeah.
queen, queen, 8. I mean, compared to any random hand, which is what Sam is going to have here, he wants to be the one to try to isolate, so he's going to raise it up to 125. Just signaling to Will he's really got something.
Con here, one of the better hands he's picked up on this final table, obviously going to lay it down. Doesn't want to tangle knowing that Sam's in that
just
big blind.
Situationally, he's not, doesn't want to tangle, that's right.
Oh, don't bet the cards, $200 deck. I always see that. The two things that make me cringe from the production side are when they bend the cards like that, or they hold like an alcoholic beverage over the table.
Right. Yeah, these RFID cards
But they can
are
no
super
good, no
expensive and super fragile.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, obviously not a great hand to defend the big blind with, but in Omaha, you're never really drawing dead.
Right. And you're rarely a huge dog. In
Right.
that case, he wouldn't have been. It would have been probably around 60-40.
I like
So he really should have got his chips in
Yeah.
that spot.
Yeah.
Now, again, he's definitely going to be getting into the next 2 or 3, 4 hands here.
Well, now
Is
he
that
can wait.
4 big blinds?
Now,
right?
now he can wait till his next big blind
Right.
because it's free all the way around.
Yeah, so.
But
But he's definitely
it
going
was
to
a
want to
bad
get it
fold.
in. So, like,
He wanted to get it in right there.
yeah.
That was his best opportunity to ladder up.
Check river Badoogies. Terrible. All right.
Well, it looks like Sam is going to get his chips in now. He does have a decent hand here. Ace, queen, 10, tray, queen, high clubs.
Want to make sure you're not
BJ
trips?
obviously going to call. He hasn't even looked at his cards apparently, and he's got 9, so
Oh,
he's
you're ahead.
technically ahead right now, but statistically Sam is the favorite with
Wow, I
all
had a
those
big
overcards,
hand, I
but it's a
was
flip.
Dominated by his hand. Just wanted to let y'all go heads up for it blind.
And Sam looking for
Ace, queen.
big
King,
cards
queen,
on the board here. Ace in the window, good news for him.
Oh, it's not open-ended. Never mind.
Taking the lead is Sam, looking to hold up. Hearts come across there though, but what a big turn for BJ's hand. Back to a 60-40 situation. Sam looking for a brick on the river. Oh, the hearts get
You're
there.
running hot. You're running hot, man. This is good.
And BJ's going
Did anyone
to
doubt that was
eliminate
coming
yet
hard?
another player.
I almost
Rich
like- I
get
almost was
richer.
positive it
Sam
was
taking
coming
home
hard.
over $4,600 though for his efforts today. And then there were 5. 5 remaining in the PLO Championship for the Fall Poker Open here at Champions Club. $28,380 up top. And Sam was very patient there. Came into the final table as the shortest stack and ended up
Well, knocked out
getting
that side
through
of the table.
3 spots there, laddering up to 6th place. So can't be really disappointed with those results. Obviously,
Chain link.
everybody trying to get that first place spot, but when you come in with the shortest stack, that's got to feel pretty good. 46-20, take it home tonight. And with 5 players remaining, average stack now just under 2 million chips, 38 big blinds. But most of those chips living right there in BJ's stack. Stats opening this one up with ace-10, trey, deuce, double suited. Makes it 150 to go and takes it down uncontested. BJ must be feeling very lonely over there. He busted everybody near him all alone on that other side of the table. It looks like they're going to have
So that's your box.
Stats move over here to the
That's
6th
mine.
spot.
Looks good.
Felt good.
Yeah.
Give a little more space
We'll see.
on that left side of the table. Con waking up with double suited kings here. And the short stack eliminated in the previous hand. We can see him, or 2 hands ago rather. Likely to see a raise here. And he is going to pot it to 200,000. Folds around to the blinds. Stats waking up with a hand not worth defend, or Sergio rather waking up with a hand not worth defending. And it's going to be Will in the big blind with a decision. Not a super great hand, but in Omaha, most likely those cards are going to be live against an under the gun raise, so he may peel off a flop here. We can see that the Con actually has a 9 and a 7 in his hand, so Will in pretty rough shape here. 70-30 dog. Will flopping top pair. It's going to put the pressure on and fire out 305,000, and Con's going to move it all in.
Damn, he's got my 9 and my 7 too. Terrible.
Yeah, Will was
Three of them
hoping that he had a lot more outs than that. Con with an overpair, blocking the 9,
He has 9 too.
blocking the 7.
Said he has my 9 and 7.
Will looking for running
pretty
clubs.
bad for me.
Con looking just to stay alive here.
How about a black?
got
I had
the
the
best
best diamonds
hand.
in my hand. I could just I swear
70-30
that's the reason I
favorite.
laid down.
Just needs
Even though I
to
did nothing
fade.
with my hand.
2 bad cards here.
Just felt the disc of spades was coming or something.
He could be at risk of being eliminated, though, and 5th place, $5,420 compared to the $28,380 of top. Will picking up a club here. Bad news for Con. Giving Will more
Black
outs.
Chop it.
But it's going to be a 7 instead. 9s and 7s for both players. Chop it up. Not the result that Con was looking
Just
for,
so you
but
know,
also
do not,
he's still alive
do
in
not
this
try to raise
tournament.
my blinds with bullshit. All right? Come for it.
No way.
You still can.
He didn't play one
I'm not
hand,
defending against you. BJ. Yeah, he hadn't played one hand. I thought I could maybe get him off
didn't play
kings
any,
on
yeah.
a dry flop. What do you, I mean,
Like, very solid.
if I flop 2 pair, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can see my cards right here sitting next to me. Only way you can make that call right there.
Here or here?
Tournament life. 1 pair in this game.
And you lost your cred.
I lost my credit. I'm good.
Players shifting around a little bit, giving each other a little bit more space.
You see me play cash. Play way wider range.
Yeah.
Will's talking about it
What
best.
you been calling me?
Cash can be a lot wider. You see a lot more flops because you obviously can
Well, you
reload,
only
but
potted it. I mean, if you would have made it a little more, I might have folded.
talked about it a bunch already with the ICM. Pay jumps.
Those big
Now,
jumps are
yeah.
coming up now.
Big jumps are coming up, so definitely have to factor that into the decision making.
And we're seeing these opening opening bets get a little bit bigger now
Yeah.
too. And
Yeah.
BJ raises it with Ace Jack 5 deuce. He's suited Ace Jack of hearts, and Sergio jamming all in here with king, queen, 10-5, double suited. And we can see that's a pure flip here.
60.
And I don't see BJ getting it in this spot.
Well, he raised it to 150, so it's only 600 or 575 for him to call. But yeah, with those danglers down there and only single suited, he may just wait for a better spot.
Right. And that's 11 big blinds. You know, he put in 3 big blinds, so it's another slightly over 11 big blinds for him to call. And 11 big blinds at this point in the tournament, you know, that has some ICM chip value.
Yeah, nice simple.
That being said, he can lose this pot
Right,
and still be the
fine.
chip leader.
Right.
Say slide it to 3.
Again, he still has half the chips in play. So
We've seen BJ play this way. He's putting pressure on, but
Right.
making disciplined folds. He's not looking to flip and give these guys more chips. He's looking to pick up chips pre-flop or get it in as a big favorite.
again, what started out with 238 entries across 3 flights for this 100K PLO Championship, now down to 5 players. And as Dan said, some hefty pay jumps for these 5 remaining players.
Yeah, 5th place, 54.20. First place, 28,380.
Yeah,
So,
that's a nice little payday there.
yeah, still a $23,000 difference between.
That's a lot of bullets to the main.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bullets to the main.
Right.
So.
Yeah, if you look at it that way. And I'm sure a lot of these players do. I imagine they're all going to be playing our main event here, especially after this finish.
I caught BJ right before we mic'd everybody up for the final table because, again, I didn't even know he was here. He came down for the main. Then he saw that he came down here yesterday and he saw that there was a PLO, and so he decided to fire. Now he's chip leading the PLO.
Yeah. And in case you weren't here earlier when we were talking about that, the main event, $1,300 buy-in, no limit hold'em tournament, $750,000 guaranteed prize pool. So that's going to be a super exciting event. We've already had a couple of flights. Today we are looking at flight B of the main event, but we're going to have a total of 5 flights
Yep.
before it combines on Sunday. And then we've got the
Almost wouldn't color up earlier on that.
main event final table stream will be Monday.
And those level, I think it's 60K starting stack, 40-minute levels, day 1.
Is that all right?
Probably the best
Okay,
structure
leave my chips there.
for a main event of this size.
Or do you want me to chips
And
there?
then taking 12.5% to day 2. And once you get to day 2, levels increase to 1 hour. So
I feel like I want a big one.
That looks better.
Will shifting his chips
After this one,
over.
is it?
Oh, trips in your hand, always bad in Omaha. I'm sure if you're have been watching the stream this far along, you know you can only use 2 of your hands or 2 of your cards in your hand. You hate to see trips. I think that's the first time we've seen it so far at
Yeah.
this final table.
now, when I first quote-unquote learned PLO, I always forgot you had to use 2 hands, two cards in your hand. So I made, you know, the rookie mistake of, you know, thinking I had X with only 1 card, thinking 1 card only had to play.
Right. It's a very common mistake
Yeah.
among new players, especially with like a double board pair
Right.
where you think you got a full house, or there's 4 hearts on the board and you think you got a flush with the, you know, but
Learned that the hard way really quickly.
right. Now, Khan, who's been very quiet so far at the final table, opening this one up with Queen, Queen, Jack, 9. That's a pretty strong hand, especially 5-handed and in position here on the button.
Yeah,
BJ's going to defend with a suited ace, 4, 6, 7.
With chips to spare.
Oh, and look at this, flopping 7-4, of course.
Dan's
My
favorite
favorite
hand.
hand.
This is the champion's hand of champions. 7-4.
It's also a favorite among several players back home, and I think they're all watching this on the Silver Slipper today in Missoula, Montana. It's the Pones, everybody. BJ leading out 230,000 here. Con with the decision to make an overpair, and he's going to jam it in there.
Got 2 pair.
So BJ flopping the best of this, 75-25 favorite. Con all in with his tournament at risk. Fifth place money, $5,420. Con looking for.
He kind of folded his way to 5th place, though, so
yeah,
not a horrible strategy there.
Looking for some help, and that card's not going to do it.
For you, deuce diamond.
Good game, buddy.
Yeah,
Nice
and
play,
that
too.
it will do it for Con. Yeah, came into the final
Well,
table
sniper.
here, basically tied with
Pretty
the
flop.
short stacks,
200 got her.
and folded his way to 5th place. Very
And with that, BJ has over half of the chips in play.
crazy. Yeah, 9.5 million in play, and
Where you from?
BJ's got a
Brazil.
lot of them.
Brazil.
Yep.
We're straight up. We're from straight up 45. Houston, Dallas.
Next pay jump,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all the way up.
$7,570. Nice little pay jump of about $2,150 for
Brazil.
the next player eliminated.
Want to go there?
Yes. Beautiful place. Beautiful girls, good food.
I heard.
Yeah.
I said it really quiet, so I don't get in trouble without my lips moving. Glad you doubled early now. You said you almost wish you wouldn't have doubled early. What'd you start with, 100?
Yeah.
Like right at 100, right? What'd you start the day with? 6? 5 something. What about you?
Sorry?
How much did you start the day with?
230.
Nice.
Yeah. And you?
500.
500?
Yeah. Couldn't believe Aiden gave you those chips when
Yeah, that.
Broadway to the flush. Pretty nice gift at a very good time.
Yeah. It's perfect time.
I don't want to show this one.
BJ on the button here, double suited hand, Queen 10, 7, 6. Ranges are going to get a little wider now that they're four-handed.
Right.
And not a terrible hand. 2 flush draws, got some connection here. He's going to raise it up to 200,000.
Can't fold my big blind.
Want to make it bigger?
Yeah,
'cause I know
Will
you're
with a
gonna
double
get
suited
low.
hand
Can't
as
fold my big
well.
blind.
Ace high diamonds.
Blame you.
Is we know that his clubs are covered here. He's going to make the call, and it's king, king, queen. BJ flopping top pair here. Check, check, and club draw gets there now. Both players with club draws. But BJ in much better shape here. 2 pairs and queen high clubs.
Man, you would have to think if Will had a king, he would have at least barreled turn in this spot.
Yeah, he's not going to check it twice.
Yeah. I can see him try to check the trap on the flop,
Go for it.
but assuming he had a king in this position, which you want to try to start building the pot on the turn there, try to get some value on the turn in the river, but obviously after checking back
You have
turn,
queen high flush draw?
BJ
Mine was-
quickly
mine was
recognizes that
I had a 6 high flush.
Will does not have a king in his big blind defending range on that specific hand, so felt like his queen was good there, and it was.
Might have had me dead. What does a jack do for you? Or what does a 10 do for you?
You're almost never drawing dead in this game, but Will was pretty close.
I need it. I had a 10 out, I think.
And BJ with straight garbage this time. Jack High Badoogie, get out of the way.
Well, 5 cards.
Uh-oh. We got 5
Your hand's
cards.
dead, I guess. I don't know. Here's 5 cards.
I have 5 cards.
I got
Uh-oh.
4.
5 cards?
Yeah.
Your hand is dead. Well, no.
Wait.
No, you don't kill everything. Just his hand is dead, but it's still action.
Hey, boss.
Make sure.
I have 5
Got
cards.
5 cards on the button.
And it's already commingled. Everyone else is legit.
He folded. We all got 4.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
you don't want. What? You can play all 5. Let him play all 5.
Will waking up with a pretty good hand here in the small blind. The button was just in an awkward spot there. Dealer
Right.
accidentally dealt him in, thinking it was the small blind. And his hand's just going to
It
have
was
to
a
be
fold
dead there. You
anyway.
can't have 5 cards in a 4-card game.
No harm.
No.
If you catch it before any action, it's a misdeal. But once there's action, not much you can do in that spot.
Again, the final 4 players remaining here at this 100K PLO Championship. I believe Sergio's the short stack, correct? Well, Sergio and
150?
Yes.
the stats?
Stats and Sergio, yeah, pretty close in chips, I believe.
600? Oh, no, stats less than 10 bigs.
Oh, yeah. Just got whittled away there by the last big blind.
That's why I put the money out there.
And with the big blind ante, every big blind is 75,000 for these guys, so it's making a big difference.
BJ here with 2 pair. I wonder if he's going to check raise in this spot. We haven't seen any really big check raises on this final table. He
Very
is grabbing
few.
some raising chips here.
Yeah. Will with an open ender, but it's the bottom end, and a gut shot to a higher straight.
BJ's going to have a lot of the sets here, these 2 pairs.
It's the same out for his open ender.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's essentially just an open ender here.
Yeah.
That's what he's got. And now
Interesting turn card.
hearts get there for Will as well. But a lot of times you're not relying on your 8 high
Right.
flush draw. You're thinking of those as blockers more than
Right.
the hand that you're going to make.
And as played, Rocket's Will's going to have a lot of the aces here. But he's definitely going to have to proceed with caution in this spot. Both players have to proceed with caution after that ace of hearts comes into play.
Yeah, bottom 2 pair looks a lot less valuable now
Right.
if that ace comes off.
I think any other card but that, I think BJ would barrel, but it looks like he is grabbing barreling chips. It's going to be tough for Will to continue here with a low flush draw.
Yeah, and a big
Straight
bet
draw.
here, 700,000. Relative to the pot, it doesn't look like a big bet, but
Right.
the amount of chips that are in play here, that's, very significant portion of Will's chips.
About 13 big blinds there. Tough spot for Will here after
Yes,
BJ check raises flop, taking over the betting lead and leading this turn on this ace of hearts.
I think Will's trying to decide if his hearts are good if he gets there, because that gives him a lot more outs. doesn't. Calling with just the straight draws is no good in this spot. As far as the math goes, and yeah, he's decided to let it go.
But
That's a tough spot because you don't want to continue to give the chip leader
I'm not
additional
hard.
chips
Still hold.
with these smaller stack sizes behind. We
Right.
said it time and time again with the remaining 4 players. Adrian in the background there putting
Air kicked on and got
that
cold.
beautiful cement PLO 100K championship trophy that Dino was asking for. You asked, we delivered. I actually handed it to him. I ran inside Dina, grabbed it from the trophy case, handed it to Adrian, and had him put it there.
Well,
Yeah,
another
agreed,
thing on that
Kyle.
last hand too. I think Will is thinking also. The chip leader doesn't want to give me any chips here, so he's really going to have a hand
Exactly.
in this spot. And
I'll keep it.
so there's definitely a metagame going on here between these two big stacks.
Diamond.
They're both really great players. And
Yeah, toss it that way. Oh my gosh, huge card.
Stats here, waking up with Ace Jack 7-6. He's got
Yeah,
3
he's-
clubs in his hand. Ace high clubs. He's gonna.
Yeah, I think he's at this point where he's like, you know what? I don't have a ton of chips left.
Well, yeah, and the blinds are coming around
Yep.
quick here, so you get a halfway premium hand, especially a hand that's blocking a lot of other premium hands. It's time to raise pre-flop and
Now there is
pick
a
up some blinds and antes.
$4,500 pay jump from 4th to 3rd, so he's definitely got to factor that in with him and Sergio. And there it is, right there, ladies and gentlemen. The Fall Poker Open event number 11, 100K PLO Championship trophy in the background there. We have more than 70 viewers in the chat. Only have 15 likes. I need you guys and gals, if you're watching, go ahead and smash that like button. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Still have tons more of streaming during the rest of this Fall Poker Open.
Stats with a monster here
Yeah.
now, and raising 2 hands in a row here. He's more likely to get a call out of this, and this is where he wants some call.
Yeah.
Single
See what
suited kings.
Will has, yeah.
Yeah, Will getting rid of there. He's got 8s, 3 diamonds in his hand. Not really worth defending in that spot.
You know what? I think I'm going to talk to management about maybe giving some stuff away. Some free merch.
Plunger.
Maybe like for the final table. We get some like, shares, and subscribes and stuff like that.
Hey guys, congrats on making it this far. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Just like that. We've picked like 9 likes
Roll on this big blind now. So
after asking for it. Let's go.
Asking you shall receive.
Asking you shall receive.
Good job,
Stephen
Eddie.
Bays in the chat. Hope you're recovering well. Know you're here watching Will at this final table, battling it out.
I'm peeking.
Peeking for the day. No, you had like.
Yeah, you see
800
some
already.
massive pay jumps here coming
Yep.
up, 4th through 1st.
I might have had 700 one time.
And another dealer change here.
5 weeks back. I
Aaron
think I
coming
have
back
exactly what I
in.
started the final table with, like 620 or something.
Another one of our great traveling dealers came in for this Fall Poker Open.
MVP.
And Sergio with a couple of jacks in his hand here, but it's a Badoogie.
Yeah. Aces, kings.
He's gonna
one
pick
was
a better
so
spot.
All right.
Queen, run out.
Look for Will to raise it here.
Yeah, blind versus blind. King, queen of diamonds,
150,
queen 6.
175.
Yeah. He's gonna make it 180. Put the pressure on the shorter stack.
Yeah, good size. I
And
love it.
Stats with just 5s in his hand. 9, 10 of hearts. He's gonna get out of the way.
And he's looking to get his chips in pretty soon too. Hoping to double up himself, give him a little more breathing room. Try to square up to Sergio and battle out for that 4th or 3rd place. Micah, the buy-in for this tournament was $600, with 510 of it going to the prize pool. It was a $100K guarantee. Ended up getting about $121,000 in the prize pool. I agree, Dean. I think we're gonna have to get him a Champions hat before he leaves.
It's so hard to get a Badoogie when you're playing Badoogie.
Yeah.
Half of the players with Badoogies.
I was like, how come I never get a Badoogie hand when I'm playing mix? And like all these guys are getting Badoogie hands.
Right.
Yeah.
There it is. Background there.
Staying here? Yeah. Pretty convenient.
Look for us to make some new upgrades to the set post series. Got some
Redid all
neat
the
things
rooms and everything. That's good.
coming up with some live stream series,
Pretty crazy. You
some
can, like,
different
actually
stakes,
pick exactly when you
some
wanna
big name
register.
players
It's
coming
pretty
down
cool.
over the next
wanna
month,
get
a month and a
another
half,
Don't have to
from
worry about
across the
traffic.
state, across the nation. Again here, putting a lot of effort into our live stream. What I love about it. No stone unturned. Blind versus blind scenario again here. BJ and Sergio here.
Yeah, not a great hand for BJ, but likely to put some pressure on. Because
Exactly.
He's pretty connected here, and that's his job. Put the pressure on. He's got all the chips.
And here's the thing. Let's say Sergio calls, right? It is a low board. His hand's going to be very disguised.
Right. Yeah, and it's an easy one to get away from.
Oh, look at this. I don't see Sergio. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Don't see him folding in this spot here. He's
No,
got
you can definitely defend with that hand. Pretty strong Broadway cards.
Yeah. Even
got
with the
clubs.
four.
Oh,
opts the
interesting.
fold there. Had some connectivity there.
That's a pretty tight fold.
Yeah.
Four-handed.
Especially in this configuration, going against a chip player. I think if it was a short stack, you know, he may be more inclined to potentially fold. But knowing that the chip player that has 2/3 of the chips in play is going to put pressure on you in a blind versus blind scenario, I would have liked to see him defend in that spot, even with that 4 of hearts dangler. And look at that chip stack there.
Nice look at those beautiful octagon chips, oversized chips. I didn't know how I felt about those when we were unboxing them, but after playing with them a little bit, I like those octagons.
Since we're off Friday, maybe we should get a mixed game together. Anybody in the chat want to play some mixed? I know obviously the dealers won't be able to play, but me, you, men, a couple other people, we can get a game going. I know Kyle will play, Henry would play. Larry, we got Dan Fouts in the booth, and Eddie as well. Again, we've seen this time and time again throughout the stream. BJ putting the pressure on.
Yeah, Rockets will here with not a great hand to defend with. He'll get out of the way.
And I think Will's going to be slightly tighter again, knowing Stats and Sergio on the shorter end with those big pay jumps. Yeah, Dina, the chips are pretty. You should see him in person, so you should come down here on Friday. Good friend.
Kyle in the chat says he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right.
Well, now that means I have to be in.
I suppose.
You know, if I'm in here playing poker, they're going to make me deal, though, on Friday. So
the good thing is I don't deal, so they can't be like, hey, Ed,
Right.
can you help out? No, I do have some stuff on YouTube and stuff that I got to get ready for the cash streams
now
and stuff.
BJ waking up with a real hand here.
And this is
king, single suited. And he's raised like 3 hands in a row.
Exactly.
So.
This is a spot like when you're the other people, you know what he's doing, applying the pressure on. And so if you wake up with a reasonable good hand and you defend or call or repot it, and then you wake up to him having this big of a hand four-handed. This is what aggression shows. So
right, and Stats is likely to defend here, even though he's got all 4 hearts. He's got some Broadway cards. He's it's really tough to fold when you've seen
right
BJ raise 3 hands in a row. So he's going to get in here.
Not going to leave himself much behind. Leaves himself about 240.
Yeah, and BJ's loving this. Just needs to fade a heart here. Or an ace here, I mean.
Yeah, I definitely see BJ just snap call here.
Wow, I'm surprised Stats put all his chips in there. But
it is a coin flip.
Yeah.
And
He did hit a piece of it, so he's, you know, if you're putting BJ on an over pair there and you hit a piece, you got a good shot of catching 2 pair and catching up. And
almost
that's
won a
exactly
king.
where he's at, but BJ also has top pair.
Fair card.
It's like you won a king right now.
So with him having that pair of 10s there, again, equity's still relatively close.
Yep. Virtual coin flipped here. That's a safe card for BJ.
Let's bring in a
Stats
5
looking for some
a
help
wheel
here. Yeah.
Ace or queen, I think he gets there, right?
Yeah. Queens and
Queens and deuces. Rivers
pair.
2 pair there.
Doubles up. Now he's up over 1,000,000 chips.
225.
Now gets him to about 16, 17 big blinds. Does get him some room to play with. Now Sergio in the 1 or 2 seat, the short stack at this final table.
We didn't miss it.
Yeah, we talked about this with these short stacks doubling up, picking up, you know, a lot of things can change relatively quickly as it relates to PLO. Because again, with the equities running
Saw that deuce, you couldn't
so
resist.
close to each other relative to Hold'em, you know,
So that's
a
good
lot of
flop
things
for
can
me.
happen relatively
Out of
quickly.
his range for sure.
Dina, you know you can give that shift away, so I don't know why you're like trying to argue with me. Jim and Dory are here, your favorite people here. I'm here, Min's here. Like, give your shift away tomorrow. Just come down Thursday.
Looks like blinds have gone up to 60,000 here now, so that's going to put some additional pressure on the shorter stacks.
Yeah, level 25 now.
A nice looking hand here for Sergio. He's got ace jack suited with jack deuce. Potting it up here to 240.
We're just under 11 big blinds, looking to make his move now.
And Will has a pretty coordinated hand here, especially four-handed. He could call off here,
A
but
bit of a rundown hand with a...
not loving the 10 high spades.
I think if he's in the big blind, I think he defends there.
Sure.
Especially with BJ behind,
Yeah,
with the chip lead, knowing that he's probably, you know, he has a lot more chips to play with. Again, let's see what BJ has here. Not the best hand in the fairway. He's going to lay this one
just
down.
gonna get this one uncontested. Sergio picking up some chips there, and every pot now 120,000 in the middle.
Probably
So
should have,
it's a good pick up there for Sergio.
4 cards, middle range, all different.
Yeah.
Non-Badoogie.
Non-Badoogie.
30, 60.
No way I folded that in the big blind. I would have folded that in the big blind. 0%.
Will confirming what you were saying there. He never would have folded that hand in the big blind.
Right.
And now Will waking up with a really nice looking hand here. Jack, Jack, 10-9.
I foresee him opening this up here.
Yeah, that's a nice rundown.
150,
He does have one
175,
suit.
200? 150 to 200?
Looks like 175. Nope, 200.
Yeah, good sizing here.
I'm all in.
Now, Sergio jamming it in
yeah.
here. He's got ace, king, king, 6, hearts.
Double or not.
Does he really want to double him up here and knock himself down to 1.2 million? Now, if he calls and loses his hand,
Either putting it all in or
Sergio,
folding,
Sergio, Stats, and will all would be within a couple 100,000 chips of each other, and he does opt to make the call here. Okay, with
Yeah, and
a bit of a race
Sergio
here.
in just
Oh,
about
heavy
as
or block.
good a shape as he could be here against that hand. So it's 60-40 favorite. Looking to hold up here and double through Rockets Will, who came into this table as second in chips.
Yeah, and if Sergio takes his hand down, he's going to jump. Well, it's just a short stack a few hands ago. Takes this pot down.
Hurts, please.
Will catapult
3 hearts.
to second in chips. Good flop for him. Oh, no. Well,
spades for Will.
Spades for Will. Overlooked that for just a second there.
Yeah.
Sergio with no spades in his hand.
So equity stays just about the same
Right.
here. Will catching the draw that he wanted to, and now that's going to be a
pretty much drawing dead.
huge favorite for
Needs one of the
Sergio
two
now.
remaining jacks in the deck.
7-4 gets there. But
I love hearing that just in the And just like that, Sergio up to nearly 1.6 million in chips. Will down to about 1.2. Still has about 20 big blinds, give or take.
but virtually tied with
Yeah, I believe
with stats now
yeah.
is Will.
I think Sergio's got close to 1.6.
Stop breathing.
Will 1.2. And I believe Stats has
Pull the mic down
about
like your zipper, like
1.1
clip it down
and some
here.
change, give or take.
You want me to do it?
I'm sure we'll see it here pop up.
He said that was okay.
So that last hand was null and void, or what?
We found the culprit who was breathing into their microphone so loudly. Hopefully that'll be better for the rest of the stream here. Yeah, Will and Sergio basically flipping stacks there, so Will's going to need to make some moves here if he wants to get back up into that bigger stack area. BJ came into the final table with the biggest stack and has never lost a significant pot.
Now I believe, okay, these are the hands that we did. I believe there's a couple hands on the production side that we missed, and I think this may be one of them. So
Yeah, we were just seeing the previous hand flashing up there, so a little bit of an error there.
again, BJ making it looks like
180,
180, yeah, between 150 200. I'm gonna get Will the call here.
Yeah, 180 confirmed. Heads up, BJ and Will. So we got a mystery hand. Let's try to guess what they have.
All
here.
right, those of you in the chat, how are you playing this hand if you're BJ?
Well, BJ could have anything.
I'm just gonna check back here.
Will's calling range much better for this board, I would think, but now with 3 hearts on board, it could be anybody's hand.
Again, Will double checking flop turn here.
BJ's going to fire 125. Doesn't necessarily mean he has hearts here, but
Right.
I don't think he's firing with nothing. He doesn't want to give a dangerous player with Will chips for free.
Again, we do not know what the cards are. I had some issues on the production, technical issues, so we're playing the mystery game
And
with you in
looks
the
like a
chat.
check raise from Will here. He's going to make it 375.
75,000.
3x here. Now that's a really strong move. I think we've only seen that check raise. This is the second time after BJ did it a few hands ago, so love the camera angles. BJ making the call here.
So my
Deuce!
guess is that both
Diamond!
players have something here. BJ's never going to call off chips to Will without some kind of draw.
Yeah,
or
draw
hand
like some
there.
maybe some 2-pair. I don't know. Interested to see how this one's gonna shape out.
Will stacking up 350 there.
About $1 million in the pot right now. I know there's
I think
375,
that's right, yeah.
750, 750 after that check raise. After the flop goes check. I don't remember what the pre-flop bet was, so it's somewhere $1 million in the pot. go into this river card, deuce of diamonds.
Will betting 550,000 here. Almost all of his chips.
Gonna leave himself about 4 big blues, 4 big blinds.
Yeah, about half the pot is what he's betting.
That's such a European move. Leave yourself like 1 or 2, 3 big blinds.
My guess is check raise on the turn. Will's got hearts.
Yeah, I would
But
imagine that.
What size of hearts here?
You could have got the whole thing. You don't want that.
My guess is Will's got hearts, but not nut hearts, and BJ's got 3 pairs.
Folding is not an option, so just relax. I'm just thinking whether to shove or just to call.
Yeah, with the blinds being 30, 60, 60. I thought it was 25, 50, 50 still, but it's actually 30, 60, 60.
Yeah, so he's leaving himself 3 big blinds essentially.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, and he has a second nuts, announces it.
I'm glad you didn't shove.
So BJ in this hand giving some chips away.
Thank you.
Getting to a very dangerous player. I
your
believe
turn.
that pot was about 1 point. How much did he bet the river there?
550.
552. Nearly 2 million in the pot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So now Will overtaking Sergio for second in chips at this final table.
So he checks the nut flush draw on the flop there and ends up getting paid because of it.
Yeah.
Nice play there by Will. I think he got max value out of that.
Yeah, very savvy move there by a very experienced player. And Stats and Sergio just kind of like hanging out here, trying to pick a spot to try to get their chips in. We don't know, Tommy. Unfortunately, there was some issue with the RFID reader in the cards, so we'll never know. But I believe that he had, not second nut flush. I'm not sure what BJ had there. Did he say second nut flush or nut flush?
He announced second nuts, but he didn't turn his hand over.
Okay.
Will did have the nut flush.
Okay.
And I believe we're going to have the reader back after that hand.
Yeah. And it's always tough around the PLO side. Now, there's just only a few minutes left in this level. We'll be coming back to 40, 80, 80, 40, 80, 40.
Button coming.
Jesus.
Wow, double
one.
suited aces for BJ here. He just wants to hang on to him for a while.
Dang. Sticky's got a radar for it.
So inactive. But BJ waking up with a really nice hand here. Ace, King, Jack 7 with Ace, Jack of clubs. And it looks like he's going to repop. Yeah. 525 is what he makes it.
Playing the mystery hand game and getting hand 64.
And BJ's aggression pays off yet again here. Re-raising stats and picking it up uncontested. Stats just limping in this time. Ace 9, 6, 6 with 3 hearts in his hand. I don't think we've seen an unraised pot in like 30 hands, so I'm not sure I love the limp in, but it causes BJ to limp in behind, which is interesting.
Oh, family pot all sick day.
Wow.
Can't mess it
First
up.
time we've seen this. A limped pot. All
See who
4
gets the
players
flop.
in there.
Look at this.
BJ out in front here with a double suited hand. I'm really surprised he just called there.
All right, let's see where we're at equity-wise. Rockets Will here with the 40% equity, but BJ here has him covered with the diamonds.
Yeah,
Backdoor straight draw,
Will
second
with
nut
the
flush draw.
open-ender and diamond blockers.
Look for Sergio is out this hand.
And it's the 2 big stacks going at it again. A 5 coming off. Actually lowers the value of Will's hand a little bit. Oh, I guess it gives him 2 pairs, so that, yeah, no, that's a good card for him.
Good board for Will though. BJ taking the aggressive route here. Big bet. Yeah, pretty big bet relative to the pot size. Could have just checked back and tried to realize his equity here. But taking the aggressive route, trying to put Will in the tough spot here. Gets the call here. And I think if he bricks and it gets checked to him, I think he just has to wave the white flag. Don't want to give him additional chips here. I mean, even if he, losing this hand, he's going to have still half the chips in play. But again, we've talked about this before. You really don't want to be giving a dangerous player like Will all these chips.
Yeah, Will just coming off a bracelet win this summer in an Omaha event. Super strong player. BJ's going to rep that ace. Betting 675. Which would leave Will with under $1 million. Yet again, but if he calls here, he's going to be right up there with BJ. Wow, if Will can find this call, I think he's going to be the chip leader.
What's BJ repping in this spot, though? On a limp pot. I mean, he does have some of these. I don't know.
The problem for Will is any deuce
Yep.
wheel card is a straight.
Right.
There's just so many hands that beat him here, and with the ace coming off in the river, so many 2 pairs beat him.
Right. Better 2 pairs.
BJ almost never has the straight because he wasn't very aggressive on the turn. I mean, he did bet, but I guess he could have it. Will's blocking the straights, though.
I think this is like one of these coin flip spots where, I say coin flip, but you mean it's one of those like randomized spots?
Right.
Where it's so close. Oh, and it makes it full.
Nice play.
And if he had a better 2 pair, if he
Check
had,
raise a turn. Not gonna be jack for him. Fucked up. Messed up. Not messed up, but.
BJ almost putting him on his exact hand, asking if he had jack 4. And he's like, I could beat jack 4, but it was jack 5.
and again, it's like one of those spots where do you want to give the chip leader more chips, A, if you're beat, or do you and lose and you just got a lot of chips back where you're second in chips at this table with all this money on the line between 4th and 2nd, right?
You beat top 2
Oh, so the ace helped you.
on the turn.
And BJ with a nice rundown here.
Yeah, single suited.
Almost certainly going to be raising this hand as well.
That is correct, Daniel. Well, left and
Thinking with
well.
the cash game, I would have won that hand. On the
As a mixed
turnover.
PLO bracelet from this past summer.
Probably not on the turn.
Ugh, so it would have worked.
Not on the flop, too.
If you're new to the chat, I've already asked for some likes. Can I get a few more likes? We went from like 16 to 30, so I'll take it. I'll take some more likes.
What do we want, 35?
Sure, why not?
Let's go for 35.
The likes in the help algorithm boost, so.
Good flop for Sergio here. Flops the diamonds.
Flop. The gutter to straight as well. Has a ton of equity here.
Yeah, BJ's going to keep up the aggression, but he will almost certainly slow down.
This is a board that Sergio could, like, you know, come back over the top with. It's not really a greatest board for BJ's under the gun opening range. Paired board here now.
Yeah, triple fives now for Sergio. Best hand gets even better.
Let's see if BJ's going to slow down, and he does. He knows that this board's better for Sergio. Appreciate it, Dean. I know you would click it twice. Yeah, with BJ not much here, I think he's just going to have to lay this down. I haven't seen... I'm trying to go back through these last 60-plus hands, and I just don't see a spot where Sergio's bluffed. I don't recall any specific hand that he's bluffed in. And I think BJ... Obviously, BJ had nothing. But with that being said, even if he had a little bit of something, it's probably tougher, you know, for Sergio to bluff in that spot, especially four-handed.
You want to save me a few minutes
With a
on the
short
break?
stack.
Just tell me what you had or what?
You're going to see it. Maybe you don't want to know. I don't know.
I don't know.
All
I
right,
know
new
I
dealer
should've
coming
jammed, but
in.
just,
Matt coming back.
Like almost I see him suicide.
Taking a look at those chip stacks. BJ still with over half the chips in play. Sergio and Will pretty close, and Stats pulling up the rear here. Less than 10 bigs. He's going to have to make a move in the next orbit, would be my guess. And here's a look at our upcoming schedule. We got that cash game tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. The last 1-3 game was so fun, so be sure to check that out if you have the time. And then we're going to be doing the main event final table coming up Monday, and Tuesday that 25K free roll for the 27 highest points earners for the Fall Poker Open here at Champions Club. Super excited about that event. I think that's such a cool thing that the management has added here to give back 25K and 10,000 for first place. All of the tournaments that we ran for this series and are going to run for this series qualified for that, except for the Mega Satellite. So even the nightly events.
Right.
So I think it's really cool that players who, a lot of times you have players that only play those 7 o'clock nightlies, and it's really cool that they have a shot at that 25K free roll.
Look at this hand.
Yeah,
Aces versus kings here. Stats in a heap of trouble here. 80-20 spot.
Yeah, and Will with one of the remaining kings in his hand.
He's going to need like runner straight. The last remaining king in the deck.
Get the old 10 deuce. The deuce of diamonds.
Do three
flop quad deuces.
Yeah, or something stupid like that. Something stupid like that.
But yeah, that I mean,
I've seen crazier
never
things,
seen
right?
it 80-20 in
Very
Omaha.
close. Deuce of diamonds. I said 3-3 flop. You asked for deuce of diamonds. You listen to both of them.
Look at this. Commanding lead for Will
I called
here.
3-3. You called deuce of diamonds.
Stats
No,
did
bad
catch
thing is I
one
said deuce of
deuce
spades
there, so
earlier.
he gets a little more equity out of it, but no help on the turn.
He's drawing
Looking for a
super thick.
king or a deuce on the river or a 10.
Seeing a king of clubs.
Oh,
It's a
it's a two. It's his, what, 3-4 outer in that spot. Oh, my goodness. And Will.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Stats went from the short stack to getting some chips in play. Now Will Down to about 950,000 in that hand. After that hand, what a brutal run out.
Yeah. Will taking it like a champ, but you're almost never in an 80-20 position in Omaha. But you just love to see those cards flipped over, and then a deuce comes on the river.
Generally, like a 70-30 spot.
2-3, then deuce of diamonds. It comes 2-3, deuce of diamonds. That's a deuce of spades probably coming. Comes deuce of spades. Crazy.
Stats has been super patient here. Waited till he got kings. Ran into the worst possible hand that you could see when you have that hand, but
like mathematically, it's so
worked out in his favor, and now he's got a shot here. Patience paying off. Stats came into the final table, one of the short stacks, virtually tied for second place, the second shortest stack came in with 660K. And laddered up to at least fourth place, now has a shot at it. Making the raise here. He's got a suited ace, a couple of fours in his hand. BJ waking up with queens, single suited, double suited rather. I think we're going to see a raise from the small blind here. And here it comes. 525, I believe, is the bet. Wow, and Sergio with kings. Single suited kings. We have another monster hand situation here.
What if he's, wow, just gonna fold here.
BJ was feeling normal.
Yeah.
I was not
Jack
anticipating
7, 9,
that.
4.
What a move by BJ.
Opening your bullshit.
Yeah, we haven't been seeing a ton of 3-betting pre-flop. Now, again, forehand, you can pick up the aggression slightly more. But wow, folding kings there. They weren't the best kings, but nonetheless, still folding kings in that spot against the chip leader who has shown aggression throughout this final table.
Yeah, I think on a full table, like you're expecting kings to be losing to a 3-bet in Omaha when you're playing 9-handed, but four-handed,
that's a pretty snug fold there.
Yeah.
I ain't folding it. That's why I ain't in the final table for this PLO Championship. So I'm not in the final table of this PLO Championship.
I wouldn't have folded him in level 4, and I would have been out then. So
I would have been in line to re-register for bullet number 2.
BJ keeping the aggression up here. Got a little bit of a rundown hand, suited jack. And
3 a club dangler there for Sergio.
Yeah, 3 players to the flop.
Pretty brick board here.
Yeah, nobody really connecting. Queen's still way out in front.
I would imagine that Sergio's going to take the betting lead here. Yeah, I like this. Kind of see where he's at.
Anybody with a 10 most likely going to bet that flop.
Yeah.
So pretty safe card for him. He's going to get rewarded.
Some of these players picking up some chips now.
10 minutes?
Yeah, let's do 10.
Yeah, we've been at this final table now for nearly
Step outside. Breathe.
3.5 hours?
3.5 hours with 4 players left remaining. They are going to take a 10-minute break. Talk a little bit more about the tournaments we have remaining here, live stream schedule as well, some of the promos we got going on during this week.
What a beautiful looking rundown here for Sergio, but 3 clubs in the hand. Definitely going to still open this hand. 8, 9, 10 jack.
50 looks like it.
Those are the kind of hands that you're looking for in Omaha. Makes it 125 to go. It's kind of a small open. Sorry, 150, yeah. And Will waking up with the kings this time and a 7-4 in his hand. Yeah. Obviously, you have to raise with that. So
comes in for the 3-bet.
3-betting to 540.
Gonna get to fold this hand. Again, with him committing over half of his stack, you know he's gonna get his chips in no matter what.
Yeah. We just saw Sergio make a big laydown last hand.
with kings.
Looks like he's thinking about calling here. He's in position. He's got a hand that's pretty easy to get away from if he misses the flop.
Right.
If he hits the flop, it's going to be a monster. But we see Will has those clubs covered too. I think Sergio's going to fold here.
Yeah, I have my blockers. Approach.
And he wisely lays that down knowing that
Queens.
there's a good chance that Will's 3-betting him with some of the cards he would need to connect with on a run out.
Yeah, if he hits his straight, Will's likely to hit his set in his 3-betting range.
Now the 3 short stacks now, relatively even disbursement of chips.
Sergio with a pretty strong starting Badoogie hand. He's going to get out of the way.
2-bet.
Wow, and a walk for BJ here as the break starts up.
Yeah, we're going to take a 10-minute break here, but stick around. We saw some PLO action. 4 players left remaining.
Thanks.
Probably will see some of the promos popping up here shortly. And here we are with the final chip counts for the final 4 players. BJ with 5.7 million chips, 95 big blinds, more than half of the stack, more than half of the chips in play. And here's the remaining live stream schedule for the remainder of this fall poker open here at Champions Club Texas. Tomorrow we're going to be streaming to 1-3, Sunday 5-10. Then Monday, the main event final table, capping it off with the 25K Tournament of Champions. The top 27 point earners from this tournament series going to be battling it out that Tuesday to a final table for a 25K free roll. Again, these are the tournaments that have already completed. Oh, no, just kidding. I lied. So these are the remaining flights that we have going on. Thursday, Flight C for the main event starting at 11 a.m. 60K starting stack, $1,300 buy-in. Probably one of the best structures you're going to see out there for a main event. 40-minute levels. Once you make it to day 2 after 12.5% bag, levels bump up to 1 hour. When you're running some sweats, some satellites, some turbo satellites. And then the main event restart on Sunday at noon. Some 2 daily tournaments, a 15-minute, 20-minute turbo for $300, 10K guarantee, and then another nightly for at 7 p.m. for 5K. And again, capping it off here with that final table starting at 4 p.m. Actually, be about 5 p.m. on YouTube for a $750,000 guaranteed prize pool. The Tournament of Champions. And then our last one-day 3K guarantee for $150. Still lots of tournament play left here. If you're interested in playing here at Champions Club Texas here in Houston. Cash games going on. Got a big PLO 2550 going on, a PLO game. Some 1-3. So we have a little bit of everything for every single type of player that wants to play. So if you have not made it down, please do so. And I'm Eddie Batinga here in the booth along with Dan Fouts for this PLO 100K final table. And here's a neat little thing here. If you see this promo, 1 hour free time with each tournament registration. However, that hour must be used the same day as the tournament's played. So giving away some neat stuff here. Trying to make it as player friendly as we can. Now, don't know if we have any more hotel rooms available. We may have like one or two for the remaining week. Again, a lot of players book their room for this series. Got Dave and Adrian in the background there. Gonna nightcap this final table. Again, what started out 3 flights starting Sunday through Tuesday, coming back to day 2 today at 3 p.m. 238 players came back with 31 players and played down to the final 9 players here at this final table. Now 4 players remaining. Rockets Will, BJ, Sergio, and Stats. All playing for this $28,000 first place prize up top. Smashing the guarantee, creating a prize pool of $121,380. And in the middle of a little bit of a 10-minute break as we get these guys a little break after playing so many hours. I don't know the answer to that question, Daniel. If somebody's in the chat that's part of management can let us know if we still have it. Now, we do have a property that's literally a quarter of a mile away. I believe it's a Hilton Garden that's just across the freeway. Literally, you can actually see the hotel from our parking lot. They're running rooms for $109 a night.
Yeah, I believe that we're booked here on property.
Okay, we're booking on property?
I believe so.
Yeah. I thought I saw a message earlier about that, but I'm not 100% positive. And again, for those of you that have seen the live stream, making some nice little upgrades, some improvements from a setup standpoint, and as well as some technical stuff as well. Daniel, if you go into the description, you scroll down to the description. There says if you're interested in playing the Champions Club Livestream, fill that out. I'll have your contact information. I run the lineups. I can find out about the room situation for you, let you know pretty quickly. So if you want to fill that out, and I'm not just trying to get your information.
Yeah, well, and the other thing you can do is the website, Champions Club Texas, is also in the description. You can click on there, and you can try to book a room from there.
Yeah, if you don't want to send me your information, you don't have to click that link to Google. But with that being said, I'll go ahead and promote that. If any of you are interested in paying any of our cash live streams, in the description there's a Google Doc link that you can fill out. I've been managing that and been contacting players. Some of our favorite players actually that have been regulars on our stream. Tish Money, that's how I found him. He actually filled that out. A couple other guys as well. So if you're interested in playing our live stream, again, right now we're running 1-3-5-10. Going to be running some bigger live streams in the next couple of months as well. So
yeah, it seems like we're adding a player or two almost every week.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity if you're interested in playing these streams, then you can fill that out and let us know what limits you're interested in. Because like Eddie was saying, we're adding all kinds of different stuff all the time. We're going to be doing a mix game here coming up, a 5100 mix. That should be super fun.
Oh, Isaac said that a little bird told me that we're going to have additional few rooms opening up tomorrow.
Oh.
So that little bird that's telling Isaac, he probably knows a little better than Dan and I.
That's possible.
Just slightly possible. Now, I am running a 1-3 live stream tomorrow. I actually have 1 seat open. So
I'll take it. Oh, sorry. Are you
1-3 live stream tomorrow. Initial min and max 500 to 1K. Match the stack right after. Going to be running that from 6 to 11 p.m. Got to be in the room at 5:30. Got to go over the live stream rules. Bunch of other stuff like that as well. So if anybody wants a seat for 1-3, I'm going to fill it. I'm going to fill it relatively quickly. But if somebody new in the chat is interested in playing, I'll let you take a shot tomorrow at the 1-3 live stream.
Bring enough money to lose 3 knit games.
That's correct. We do play the knit game along with other games. Sometimes the 7 deuce game gets on. It's a pretty good lineup tomorrow. I had 9, but I had 2.
We need to change it to the 7-4 game.
The 7-4. Well, now with the update, the software update where we can transfer chips, we can play any kind of game we want to play.
Yeah.
I'm actually I see Wes Cutshall in the chat. putting together a stream with him post-series, getting the small blind game in there. So I'm going to get in contact with Andrew from Australia, trying to write the code for that. Did you know that the Nick game code was written because of us in Dallas?
I did not know that.
So Eric and I, like a lot of those, thanks, hand clap, pat on the back. No, it was like a lot of the guys up there were wanting to play it, and you know, we kind of sent him the parameters of, you know, what the Nick game.
It's super popular. I mean, from what I've seen here, we play it almost every cash live stream.
Actually, it's a requirement to play the cash. Every once in a while, some player will, you know, kind of bow out a little bit.
Duke.
James Duke is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
I love it when he talks to himself on the stream.
Everybody loves that.
And again, we are going to be back here shortly for the final 4 remaining players left. This 100K PLO final table. Again, 121,000 total prize pool, 28K up top. One of these 4 players, you see that trophy in the back left corner there on the table by the magazines. So we'll be taking home that cement trophy for event number 11.
Well, looks like the players are coming back now. We're going to get the cards in the air. Blinds up now to
Where's the blind?
60K, I believe, for the big blind. Or no, so 80K now with the 40,000 big blind Annie. And the average stack still at 30 bigs. But that's a little misleading because BJ with over half the chips in play. The other 3 players' average stack is going to be right around a million, which is close to 15 big blinds.
The hands didn't read.
It's all right. He told me his hand.
Rockets will waking up with a pretty nice hand here under the gun.
I decided to fold and try to get in ace king.
Suited king. King jack 10, 4-handed. Not a terrible hand. And he's going to wait for a better spot. Doesn't want to be in early position. What a nice Badoogie stats wakes up with. The wrong game for those kind of cards.
Were you serious?
Folds around blind versus blind. BJ with a suited
I had
ace.
no idea what you had.
Most likely going to raise this up.
And then they couldn't hear what you said because I think you said that you had nut flush draw on the turn. You still folded me and made it whatever. They couldn't hear.
225 to go.
I had a hand that if you didn't have it, if you had more
both
chips,
players
I
with
was
3
just
hearts in
gonna
their
win.
hand. Sergio probably not going to defend with this hand. Not very connected. No, I stand corrected. He makes the call. And both players hitting a tray with a gut shot. But BJ having that 9 in his hand. A little bit more equity here to make a higher straight. And obviously having the ace in his hand can catch bigger pairs. Fires out a bet and takes it down.
Who bet on you, Milkman?
Huh?
Who bet on you to win?
Mason.
Mason? And who'd he bet against? Who bet on Jake?
BJ on the button here with double suited jacks. Not a super strong hand, but again, 4-handed and on the button. He's got all the chips in the world. He can definitely raise with this hand. And he's He's going to raise it up here to 260. Keeping the pressure on. Sergio gets out of the way.
260? 260.
And Will's going to make the call here from the
Just
big
want to play a hand
blind
with you.
with ace king 8-6.
It's my turn, though.
Ah.
And cooler in me every hand.
And we got a little bit of an error here on the, there we go. I think we got it corrected here. Rockets Will taking the lead here with an ace. BJ with jack high flush draw and wheel cards though. Basically a coin flip. Will checking and BJ firing out 225. Will's gonna pot it.
How much you got?
Open ender and a pair of aces. BJ with spade draw and a gut shot to the wheel. Virtual coin flip.
1.2 and some change.
And there's a little bit less in the pot than what we're seeing here because there was an error showing Sergio calling pre-flop. He did not call that pre-flop bet. So there's about 225 less in the pot than what we're seeing in the numbers.
This is a significant pot if he calls here.
900 or so.
And Will in the lead right now. But if BJ decides to make this call, Will's tournament life will be at stake.
Again, if BJ opts to call here and loses, still have half the chips in play, but it does give
Very dangerous player, a lot of chips.
Put him up to about a pinch over 3 million, give him about 50 bigs now. So I think that's the decision that BJ's faced with here.
He's in a really tough spot
Yeah.
because his spade draw could be dead. When your head's up, it's hard to put Will on an ace and spades.
Oh, and makes the call
Makes
here.
the call here. So we have a coin flip for
This could be
Rocket
for the-
Will's tournament life. Will in the lead right now, but you can see percentage-wise,
relative coin flip.
yeah, anybody's game right here. And if BJ manages to catch here, his not only does his chip lead get bigger,
A lead,
but
you just fold, huh?
he eliminates the player that's probably the most danger to him at this
Right.
table.
Looking for his life.
And
Oh,
there it
just
is,
like
right on the
that.
turn, no weight.
That's
BJ
good, too.
taking
Let's see.
Rocket Will down. I think BJ has eliminated almost every player at the
Yeah.
final table.
And like
He just keeps collecting the chips.
that.
Honey hot.
BJ,
7.6 million in chips
75% of the
out
chips
of the
in play.
9.5
Yeah.
in play. I think that's a little off. I
Thank you.
think by a couple 100,000 here, but wow, another elimination for BJ, and Will be taking home $7,570 today, and doing a great job going this far at the final table after just collecting a bracelet in the mixed PLO event this summer.
I see him.
What a tournament player Will is, and what a PLO player. And he'll be hosting a ton of different
Right now.
PLO
For me.
games here at Champions Club
you wanna
of
look at
all
ICM
levels
numbers?
now. I see Will playing 1-3 PLO games. He's going to be doing some bigger PLO streams with us here in the future. So
And just like
we
that,
haven't seen the last of him.
yeah, the last three players now in a five-figure payday, with the next player eliminated and making $12,240.
What's
I
that?
heard some talks of looking at ICM, but
Oh, he has two.
I can't
budget?
imagine
Oh,
an
okay.
ICM chop in the position that
Will's in.
that BJ's in.
Yeah, BJ's in.
Yeah,
he'd be giving up probably like $6,000-7,000.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him making some kind of deal, but it's not going to be an ICM deal.
Yeah.
It just would not be in his favor.
Some sort of chip chop. See,
Hey,
Dina,
Chris,
you saw
would you like
David.
to see the
Adrian's
numbers?
here. Brian's here. April's
I
here.
don't think that he's
Dan's
I
here.
don't think that he's gonna be able to do it.
It's the
I'm
old,
here. Like, you just come down, just pack your bags.
Yeah, if you played Choctaw in 2010, you know who's a Champions Club.
Yeah, that's actually an accurate representation.
Yeah.
Jen Palmer's here. A lot of the dealers that you see up in Choctaw are down here dealing. Just come down Thursday. You can give up your shift on Thursday also.
And we managed to get up to 31 likes. We were asking for 35. We can still get there. Half the people watching right now, exactly half the people watching, did not hit that button yet. So give us a couple more likes here. 1 like for David Phelps in the background.
Yeah.
We got a dead small blind this time. Looks like we're having some graphics issues, but we got a raise from the chip leader, 180,000. 73 hands into the final table of this PLO event. And the chip leader continues to get richer.
C7 raised to 180, they all folded.
So what do we have going on for the rest of the evening here? Well, it's almost 1 in the morning, so let's go with what's going on tomorrow. Omaha Sweats at 10 in the morning tomorrow. $150. Win your seat to the main events. $1,300 no limit hold'em tournament starting at 11 o'clock. 750,000 guaranteed. We've already had flights A and B. I think we got over
62.
Yeah, I think so. So close to 120 players now total in there. 3 more flights tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. We'll combine the field on Sunday and play down. I can't remember how many levels they're going to play Sunday, but final table scheduled to come back Monday at 4 p.m. and we'll be streaming that final table. I don't think they're going to make it to the final by Monday at 4 p.m. They'll probably come back with 2 or 3 tables. And it might be a long day for us. The structure's so good. Levels are so long.
They're playing down to the final 9 on Sunday, though.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool. But it might be a long final table.
It's going to be a long final table, especially with hour-long levels.
Right. So
and this is shaping up to be...
Excited about that.
Yeah, we've been on the air now, what, 4 hours?
Yep, going on 4 hours now. BJ with another monster hand here, just hand after hand. And even when he doesn't have it, he's applying the pressure. Doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing here. And there's a good look at the Dave that we were speaking of.
Yeah, there you go, Dina. There's Dave in the background right there.
Yet another rack of chips coming off of BJ's stack here.
Just come down, Dina. Don't even pretend like you're not.
A new dealer change. Rich coming back into the action. three-handed poker. Again, the range is going to get a lot wider.
Yep.
Only three-handed.
Again, especially with these short stacks coming in.
Yeah, we can look to see BJ raising almost every hand at this point. Stats with another mystery hand here. He's going to let it go. BJ, ace 10, 7, 4. He's got 3 hearts in his hand. He's got the 7, 4. You got to raise it up.
Yep, going to apply the pressure again, like we've seen him do it all night.
240,000 is the bet. And Sergio
with not less than 10 big blinds.
It's really not a hand that you can defend with there. BJ continues to play good and run good.
Yeah.
He's waking up with big starting hands. But we've also seen the other players fold some pretty nice hands because of the pressure that he's applying there, including Sergio, who folded kings earlier to a 3-bet when it was the best hand.
And it looks like these players are playing for second place. Again, third place playing about 12-2, and second playing just under 20K. So about nearly an $8,000 ICM jump from third to second. So significant pay jump implications here for these two short stacks. Again, about 9.5 million chips in play, with PJ having 7.8 of it.
Yeah, BJ is such a statistical favorite right now. If they were going to make any kind of deal, they could, I mean, realistically, you could hear the second and third place players talking about, you know, making some kind of deal between them and saying, well, let's give BJ 25K or something, see if he would take a deal like that. But I don't even know if he would take that deal. He's got so many chips. Sergio flopping the nut flush draw here in a pair. He's going to pot it.
Yeah.
Take it down.
And I think one of these players, Sergio or Stats, is looking for PJ to bust one or the other so they can ICM jump themselves.
Right. 100%. They're trying to just wait it out. And the structure's so good here, it could wait a long time if we're just going to blind out at this point, because even the short stack at, I think, 12 big blinds right now. And there's a look at the short stack. 400, about 500,000 in that stack. So a little shorter than that, I guess. Looking at about 7 big blinds. A little better hand this time for Sergio. Does have a suited king, but not super connected. He's going to wait. And Stats here. Suited ace. He's got a pair. He's going to pot it.
Yeah, and he's
taking
like
a stand.
He's getting in there.
Yeah.
BJ's just no fold.
Yeah. It's
not the best hand to defend with there.
No.
Even as a chip leader, some players may want to like defend there just to defend there, having the big stack, trying to eliminate a player, but
you don't want to give a guy who has 6 big blinds 12 big blinds.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to keep us here longer in the booth. So.
Right. And Stats with actually a really nice hand here. Queen high rundown. He does have 8-9 suited. Let's see him raise here. He's going to pot it. And BJ waking up with jacks here, double suited. Not the best, not the worst. With all the chips, he can afford to make a call here.
He is double blocking some Stats. Straight draw.
Well, we know that.
Yep.
But Jack, 7 deuce.
He's grabbing calling chips there.
Yeah.
Chips to at least maybe put them all in.
It's definitely not the top of his range here, but yeah.
And they're going to get it all in here.
Yeah, and
Stats tournament life at stake.
oh, and they looks like they hit the button in the wrong spot there. Hopefully they correct that. There we go.
Yep,
Sergio
there we go.
folds. Yeah, and we can see it's a coin flip here. BJ just slightly in the lead.
We've seen BJ win these flips, so let's see if he continues that
he's
trend.
Been running hot all night long. Stats a chance to double up here, and either way, going home with at least $12,000. And
BJ here was still with the best hand with jacks only.
Swing and a miss.
8 of spades. Get us some straight draw.
Outs for stats there,
Some
or two pair outs.
yeah.
So a really good card for him there. Looking for some help on the river. And it is the 6 of hearts, no help. Jacks are going to hold up. BJ taking another player down. And stats,
What's your name?
well played.
GJ?
Came in
BJ. Nice stop, BJ.
tied for one of the shortest stacks coming into the final table.
Yeah,
Ladders up to
ladders
third
up.
place. $12,240. Nice work for stats.
Even Sergio actually came in. Yeah, Sergio came in tied for last at this final table and actually finds his way to, at minimum, a second place finish worth nearly
amazingly.
$20,000.
I am
BJ eliminated a lot of the bigger
much for
stacks
that?
first. Is in the way that
For tuning into this PLO Championship.
we still need one more like. We got up
One
to
more
34.
I need one more like from somebody.
Am I gonna have to sign in on a different account? What is going on here?
For the record, I'm 2 of those likes. So I liked it from the Champions account. I liked it from my personal. So
Employee of the month.
if HR's listening.
Oh, okay.
I still have to vote for my employee of the month. I think I was supposed to get that in by today. Sorry, everybody, I didn't vote. I'm in this isolation booth so often I forget I'm management too.
I will say this, with us being on the production side of the live stream, sometimes we're like in a different world from the poker side and the hotel operations side. I mean, you've been a part of it now for a couple months now. It literally is its own world out here, especially the robust operations that we run in terms of the sheer number of people that we need to help run this production. Sergio here flopping the best of it. I think he turns the best of it as well.
Yeah, jamming it in there.
And even BJ knows, like, you know, he's not going to get too crazy. Even with this commanding chip lead, you don't want to just give chips away here.
No, and we've seen that all night from him. He's put pressure on.
We got 36.
But he backs away when he needs to. Makes disciplined folds.
All right, tune in tomorrow in literally less than 15 hours. 1-3. Now, a lot of people think that the 1-3, that's not that big. But we've seen that our 1-3 streams literally play minimum 5-5, closer to 5-10, especially with the straddles on. So
yeah, it's insane how big those games end up getting. Almost everybody buys in for 1,000 to start,
right,
and then it's match the stack after that. And typically, those stacks are up in the 2,000 to 4,000 range after a first couple of orbits of the game. So it definitely plays pretty big. And it's definitely fun to watch. The thing I like best about it for me is 1-3 is kind of the range of table that I'm going to play at.
Right.
So I like watching people play at the the level that I play at. It's more interesting for me. But we also have bigger games 5-10s, 10-25,
Yep.
the whole, you know, so the whole gambit. But I like the fact that we keep that 1-3 in the rotation every week. All right, somebody's mic is too close to their face.
I'm gonna guess Sergio because it doesn't look like it's.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah,
it's definitely
there we go.
Sergio. It's definitely Sergio. Let's see what the turn brings here. Jack of spades brings in the backdoor flush draw for Sergio. Does give BJ the best pair. Actually, two pair here. Turns two pair, jacks and deuces. But Sergio with top pair and backdoor spades. Got her to a straight as well.
Yeah, it's a coin flip here.
Yeah, I think it's just going to get all in here.
It looks like it did.
And Sergio with not much left. 5 big blinds after this hand. Going to be in the big blind. Yeah, she's going to make the call.
Well,
This could be it, ladies and gentlemen, here. Hand
Yeah.
81.
Sergio with the best of it currently, or statistically. BJ ahead with the 2 pair, but a lot of outs for Sergio. Looking to double up here.
And if I failed to mention this, when it got to heads up, the big blind ante is now the same as the big blind, but that may not matter. Contingent, and it does not matter.
Wow.
BJ,
eliminate, I believe, every single player at the final table. Just running good, playing good.
Yep.
Applying pressure the entire time, making disciplined folds when he needed to, and he's going to end up taking home
everyone except one.
$380.
Yeah, and BJ coming into this final table as a chip leader ends up steamrolling this final table to win that coveted Event 11 trophy for this 100K PLO Championship to go along with $28,000 up top. Congratulations to BJ. Congratulations to all the final table participants.
And playing this tournament as an afterthought. Came here to play the main event. Saw, oh, there's a $600 PLO tournament. Well, I'll jump in there.
Let me jump in.
You might as well just take down a quick 28K before I have to buy into that $1,300 tournament tomorrow.
Yeah, now he's got some bullets.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bullets.
That's a lot of bullets. And again, great play by Sergio. Came into this final table, basically tied for last place at 660,000 chips, and laddered all the way up to second place, taking home $19,930. What a great job. And he played super patiently. When he had chips, he put pressure on too, and laddered up from tied for last place to taking home second. Well, if you're out there and you watch the entire stream with us, we super appreciate it. Come on back tonight at 7 p.m. in just a short few hours away.
Take a little nap here.
1-3 no limit hold'em cash game. Those cash games are so much fun. What's the lineup looking like? Who are the stars for tomorrow?
HV Dylan, got Mohit coming in playing, and again got another like 3 players coming in that are brand new. So
awesome. Well, this is Dan Fouts with Eddie Bat. Thank you for watching. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good evening. Thank you.